free, bro. Hey, you got many minds. You think about salvation, get the dance. In my flesh vein, it's my heart, not trouble, our pain. We trust in Abba, he the one that kill your problems. We thanking Abba, now we know about that lava. The streets of gold, walking on that road. I can't sell my soul, hell no. I'ma be the light everywhere I go. Ain't no vaccine up in the temple. The devil know that the most I dwelling in you. They tryna shoot you up, that should really offend you.
My cry for mercy as I call on you for help, as I lift up my hands towards your most holy place. I just wanna be worthy. I just wanna be wanna be.
Give me 1 second. Let's see. Shabbat Shalawam, Shabbat Shalawam. Let's give all praises, honor, glory, esteem to the Father YAHAWAH and his only begotten Son, Hamashiach Yahushai, who the world calls Jesus Christ. Once again, Shabbat Shalawam, peace and blessings to all of the Ahchyam, the Ahchwathyam, which are the brothers and sisters scattered to the four corners of the earth. Shalawam. Please do us a favor. Hit that like button for the ministry, the share, the subscribe button. The water for tuning in. We have a beautiful lesson here today, and it's going to be about remember the Sabbath day, right? The 10 Commandments. This is what we've been going into day after day, and today we'll be speaking on the Sabbath day. But before we actually go into it, we're going to give a few minutes for people to join if they're going to join. I'm going to play a short video, so bear with me as I pull it up and allow for this to play. It's a beautiful video, and it goes into great detail. So please take some time to watch this. Let me see. Hold on. Let me get this. Let me pull it up real quick. Give me 1 second. Okay, here we go. Let me share it. Here we go.
Out the pain, out the silence. We the ones that history tried to erase. Now the breath back in the bones. Now the truth back in the tone. Rise up. This the awakening prayer. We rise again. Out the struggle, out the sin. Light in the dark, truth from within. The kingdom starts when we begin. We rise again. No chains hold where faith lives. Keep the law, walk in the wind. Story in where it all begins. From Nashville to Memphis, yeah, I walk that line. With a soul, me struggle and pain refined. Now I'm in OKC, still preaching heat. From the south to the plains, the message repeat. Every mile I move, it's prophecy proof. Every word I drop, scripture in the book. They said we lost, now we chosen seeds. Planting truth in the field where the spirit bleeds. From the Delta blues to the Bible tone, I'm Ezekiel speaking to the dry bone. Cry loud, fear not, that's my cause. Shout a trumpet, I want them all. No fame, no flex, just grace and grind. Law in my heart, redemption in mind. They tryna deal with the most high lit, but the south they glowing, this flame legit. We rise again. Out the struggle, out the sin. Light in the dark, truth from within. The kingdom starts when we begin. We rise God stand. One nation under his hand, different tongues but the same plan. Keep the faith, that's how we land. We the salt of the earth, still seasoned. Chosen by grace, that's the reason. Not color, not fame, not pride. Covered in blood that never died. Deuteronomy to Revelation. This the final generation. We rebuild with dedication. Faith, our weapon, restoration. Memphis heart, Zion mind. Prophecy flow every time I rhyme. They try to hide the divine, but the light still break through rhyme. Stand tall. Sons and daughters, walk upright. Kings and queens, keep his commandments, live clean. The kingdom's within you. Don't forget what that means. It's up. We rise, we rise, we rise again. Wait. Out the struggle, out the sin. Light in the dark, truth from within. The kingdom starts when we begin. We rise, we rise, we rise again. No chains, hold where the faith in. Keep the law, walk in the wind. The story in where it all began. Yeah. Listen. This ain't religion, it's redemption. You ain't black. You ain't Hispanic. You ain't Native. You Israel. The same people Moses led through the sea. The same blood that built kingdoms from the dust. The same covenant the world forgot. But the Most High ain't forget. Deuteronomy 7:6 said, thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God. We chosen not by color, but by covenant. And now the dry bones breathe again. So rise, Judah. Stand tall. Benjamin, Ephraim, wake up your sons dead. It's a chart, our time ain't coming. Our time is now. The world had its run. Now the prophets run. Now the law returns. Now the prophets stand. Now Israel remembers. But it's staying in men. Keep his commandments. Keep your crown clean. Keep your spirit sharp. Because the kingdom is closer than you think.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful song. Beautiful. I mean, that's just beautiful to see, right? I'm going to play that again before we leave out of this lesson for the day, but that's just beautiful. I'm glad we able to share that. I'm glad the brothers did that. All of the Ahchyam that put their brick in and helped that come forth. That's just beautiful, the awakening. And that's why we here on this beautiful Shabbat. Once again, everybody out there that's celebrating Passover, the Feast of Unleavened Bread that's going on all throughout this week. Once again, Shalawam, shalom, peace and blessings. Everybody that's keeping the feast day. Don't let nobody bring you down. People will point fingers. People will put you down. People will say, oh, you let me down. People will say all kind of things. Don't let nobody deter you. Who care what they say? Keep it in your mind and in your heart. I hate to say it, but that's how it is. Because not everybody want to see you win. Not everybody want to see you continue on. They want to see you throw in the towel. They want to see you give up. Please don't do that, right? Let's get into it. Let's go to the book of Exodus. Actually, before I go to the book of Exodus, let's go to the book of Psalms real quick. Let's go to the book of Psalms. Psalms chapter 14, verse 1. If you have your Bibles with me, please turn to Psalms chapter 14, verse 1. If you could do that for me. I forgot to put my crown on, right? All praises be to the Father, YAHAWAH. The water for waking us up this morning, for even being here, man. I'm so blessed to just even be here. Psalms 14 and 1, right? It says, to the chief musician, a psalm of who? David. So we know this has come from who? Our forefathers, David. It says, the fool have said in his heart, there is no Elohim. The fool have said in his heart that there is no Most High. They are corrupt. They have done abominable works. There is none that doeth good. Before we jump into just remember the Sabbath, right? Psalms 14 and 1, it said, a fool have said in the heart. So anybody that says that there is not a power, which is the Most High, the Ancient of Days, the giver of life, that does not believe in the Most High, is a fool. Let's click on this. And let's see what the Bible considers a fool, right? Because what we may say a fool is may be different than what the biblical thing of what a fool is. So it's the Hebrew H5036, right? H5036. And it says foolish, senseless, a fool, right? You can see it on the screen. Forgive the birds. Stupid. So this person is stupid, wicked, foolish, a vile person. These are the type of people that you're dealing with, or the type of person that this individual is, who says that there is no Most High. That person is stupid. They're ignorant and they're wicked. They're denying the very power that's waking them up every day, that's giving them life, that's giving them breath. So you can see how wicked that is. Let's click on it right here. It says from H5034. Let's click on that one and let's see where it takes us. The outline biblical usage, as you can see, to be senseless, be foolish, to regard or treat as foolish, to sink or drop down, to fall. The Strong's definition, I'm just trying to see: despise, disgrace, dishonor, lightly esteem, fall. So as we can see, this fool is someone who falls away, who thinks of his own power, that think that they, how can I say this, that think they are who they are, and that they are in this life and it's their life. It's kind of hard to say, you know, but they're a fool. That's what the Bible says, that the fool have said in his heart that there is no Most High. They are corrupt. They have all done abominable works. There is none that doeth good. Verse 2, Yahweh looked down from the Shemayim upon the children of man to see if there were any that did understand and seek the Most High. Is there anybody out there that has any understanding and that is seeking the Most High? You might say, well, how do I know if I have understanding? Well, if you believe in the Most High and you seeking him, then you have understanding. You have understanding. And to seek the Most High is wisdom. Verse 3, they are all going aside. They all went astray. Everybody has went astray. They are all together become filthy. I think sometimes people forget in the scriptures that it reads that our righteousness is as filthy rags. You can never be righteous in the Most High's eyes without the blood of Hamashiach Yahawashi. You can never be righteous in the Most High's eyes. No matter what it is that you do here on this earth, you are still filthy. And this is something we have to understand. Stop looking at other people that they are this or they are that. Look at yourself. Work on yourself. One of the greatest verses that's always quoted on this platform is work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. Everybody's always pointing a finger at everybody else, worried about everybody else, and want to call out everybody else. Call out yourself. Because whatever you think is right, or you think you have your righteousness, is really not. It's filthy. Verse 4, have all the workers of sin, iniquity, no knowledge, who eat up my people as they eat bread, and call not upon Yahweh. Are you calling upon the Most High Yahweh? Are you calling upon his name? Do you know his name? So you have to understand what type of people you're dealing with in this world. Individuals that you're dealing with that don't believe in the Most High. That person is a fool. That person is stupid. That person is ignorant. That person is wicked. And you have to separate yourself from that person, whoever that person is. You have to. And if you don't, the Most High gonna get up with you about it, because you choosing that evil person over the Most High. He already done told you that that person is a fool. Now you take it for what you want to take it for. Let's go into it. Exodus chapter 20, verse 8. Today is the Sabbath day. I know it's a lot of people out there who don't keep the Saturday Sabbath. They keep the lunar Sabbath and they keep other days of Sabbath. All praises to the Most High as long as you keep in the Sabbath day. Unfortunately, in our side of our captivity, and we lost our history, we lost everything that we possess through the Most High due to our disobedience. We really don't know. So right now we're doing everything as a memorial, as remembrance, right? For the Most High. So when he says his only begotten son, Hamashiach Yahushua, who the world calls Jesus Christ, back, we will be not only prepared and ready, right? We can show forth fruit that we have been doing this here on this earth while we were a pilgrim or sojourner, however you look at it, right? So Exodus chapter 20, verse 8. Now, this is a commandment that all Christians pretty much and Catholics forget about. The Catholics actually took this commandment out of the 10 commandments. And I'm going to show you that on the screen in a little bit. So we're going to read here, Exodus chapter 20, verse 8. It says, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy, Kodash, set apart, sanctified, right? Verse 9, 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. So we have 6 days to do the work in this world that we are going to do. But the 7th day is the Sabbath unto Yahawah thy power. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, or the maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that's within the gates. So on this Sabbath day, you shouldn't be doing any work. You shouldn't be doing anything. Now, there is certain instances, of course, like the Passover, the Feast of Unleavened Bread, certain feasts that are Sabbaths, which are called Sabbath time, where you are allowed to do certain type of work that is preparing for the meal that you're going to have for that feast. But while the word is going forth, just like with Martha and her sister, right? She said she was getting the food ready for who? Hamashiach Yahushua Christ. She was mad that her other sister was sitting at the feet of him while she was in the kitchen doing this and doing that. And she said, Hamashiach Christ, can you tell my sister to come help me? He said, no, your sister is doing what's right. The word is coming forth. I am the word. I'm here, but yet you in there doing something else. He said, come and listen to the word. For in 6 days, Yahawah have made the Shemayim and the earth, the sea and all the man that is in them, Salakia, and all that is in them. And he rested on the 7th day. Wherefore Yahawah baraked the 7th day and hallowed it. What does it mean? He hallowed it. He set it apart. He baraked it means he exalted it. So he exalted this day and he set it apart. But where did he do this at? Let's go to the book of Genesis real quick. So it really didn't start in Exodus. A lot of people think, oh, the commandments started when the children of Israel came out of Egypt. Mizraim. No. Let's go back to where he actually hallowed it, sanctified it, and set it apart. Genesis chapter 2. Genesis chapter 2. Genesis chapter 2. I start at verse 1. Genesis 2 and 1. The Shemayim and the earth were finished, and all the hosts of them. And on the 7th day, the Most High ended his work, which he had made. And he rested on the 7th day from all his work, which he had made. Verse 3. And the Most High, or Elohayim, Salakia, baraked the 7th day, which means he blessed it, and sanctified it, which means he hallowed it, because that in it he had rested from all his work, which Elohayim created and made. So right here in Genesis chapter 2, verse 3, this is when he exalted the Sabbath day, and this is when he hallowed it and sanctified it and set it apart. Why? Because he rested in that day. Hamashiach Yahushua, Christ the anointed one, he rested in this day because he was doing all the work. Not only him, but all of the Elohims, all of the powers that help him bring this together, the creation that he brought forth, everybody rested on that day. So it wasn't something that was brought forth in Exodus chapter 20, right? It was something that was brought forth way back in Genesis chapter 2. We have to understand it was a Sabbath day then. Right here and there in Genesis chapter 2, this is the Sabbath day. Even when we go to the book of Exodus before chapter 20, we go to Exodus chapter 16. Exodus chapter 16. Let's go here. I'm going to go down some. Okay, Exodus 16 and 22 right here. Right. I try to get it as big as I can on the screen. I hope everything is clear, the audio and the screen and everything. Exodus 16 and 22, it says, and it came to pass on the 6th day they gathered twice as much bread, 2 omers for 1 man. And all the rulers of the congregation came and told Moses. And he said unto them, this is that which Yahawah have said. Tomorrow is the rest of the Kodash Sabbath, or Sabbath, right? Unto Yahawah. Bake that which ye will bake today, and see it that you will see it, and that which remaineth over lay up for you to be kept until the morning. And they said, Salakia, and they laid it up till the morning, and as Moses bade them. I'm froze. Sometime it does that. Shalawam, Jason Moore 77. Shalawam, the water for being here on this beautiful Shabbat day. Shalawam once again. Sometimes I freeze, but as long as they can still hear me and the audio is good, it's okay. For some reason, the picture freezes sometime, right? Verse 24, and they laid it up to the morning as Moses bade, and it did not stink, neither were there any worms therein. And Moses said, eat that today, for today is a Sabbath unto Yahawah. Today you shall not find it in the field. So any other time that they kept food over to the next day, it would stink and it would bear worms. But on the 6th day, the Most High gave them a double portion, and Moses had told them through the Spirit of the Most High, through the information of the Most High, to listen, hold that to the morning, and it will not stink, and it will not bring forth worms. In verse 25, and Moses said, eat that today, for today is a Sabbath unto Yahawah. Today you shall not find it in the field. Don't go out to the field, because you're not going to find any manna out there. That's why he gave us a double portion on the 6th day. Verse 26, 6 days ye shall gather it, but on the 7th day, which is the Sabbath, in it there shall be none. So he give you 6 days to go out, bring forth, do whatever it is that you're going to do, whatever it is that whatever your job is, whatever you do within your life, you have 6 days to do it, 6 days to bring it forth, right? Most of us, we're priests. So if you're a priest, then you should be doing priestly work, right? Now, there are other things in the body, and a lot of those things we need help on, right? So people have different functions within the body. We know Hamashiach Yahushua is the head. We follow him, but there's different members in the body. So whatever your thing is, your gift, I should say, that Hamashiach Yahushua has given you, you have 6 days to bring it forth. And he letting us know on the 7th day, there's not going to be nothing out there. 27. And it came to pass that there went out some of the people on the 7th day. People are still doing this today. People are still doing this very thing today. And here in 2026, they're still going out on the Sabbath day. And it came to pass that there went out some of the people on the Sabbath, on the 7th day, Salakia, for to gather, and they found none. Verse 28, and Yahawah said unto Moses, how long refuse ye to keep my commandments and my laws? Ask yourself that question, or present that question to one of your Ahchyam, one of another brother or sister. How long will us as Israel refuse to keep his commandments? Especially this one about remember the Sabbath. Why did he go there and tell us remember the Sabbath? Because we were going to forget. To remember something means to what? Call to mind. Bring it to mind. Speak it every now and then, because you don't want somebody to forget it. That's like if you waiting on, that's like if somebody, you have an event you're going to on Friday, and it's not just you, it's multiple people. And you keep telling everybody, hey, we have to leave at 9 o'clock to get to the event on time, you know? So you keep sending out reminders all throughout the week. What? Hey, make sure you here at 9 so we can leave, or come a little earlier so we can leave at 9. We have to leave at 9. You just don't say it one time and hope everybody shows up. No, you keep sending out a reminder. Just like if you have a doctor's appointment or something, they send you a reminder and say, hey, Tuesday at 9:15 a.m., you have a doctor's appointment. Why? Because you need to remember it, just like you need to remember this Sabbath, right? Verse 29, see, for that YAHAWAH have given you the Sabbath, therefore he giveth you on the 6th day the bread for 2 days. So they was just being greedy. They had enough bread for 2 days. Not all of them, but some of them still went out on the 7th day, being greedy, not listening, wanting more. Therefore, he have given you 6 days. On the 6th day, Salakia, the bread of 2 days. Abide ye every man in his place. Let no man go out of his place on the 7th day. Now, this was a command back then, right? That no man should be leaving out of his dwelling place, wherever you are dwelling at, your home, your residence, your apartment, wherever you at, you should be dwelling there on the Sabbath day. You shouldn't just be out and about. And let's get that comparative text, right? Let me get that comparative text so you can see it on the screen for yourself. As it says in the New King James right there, it says, let no man go out of his place on the 7th day. In the NLT, it actually says on the Sabbath day, you must each stay in your place. Do not go out to pick up food on the Sabbath, on the 7th day. You better not be out there trying to go pick up no food on the Sabbath day, right? The NIV, it says everyone is to stay where they are on the 7th day. No one is to go out. Uh-oh. But there's a lot of people out on the Sabbath day. Why are there so many people out on the Sabbath day? Question. Why are there so many people out on the Sabbath day? Shabbat Shalawam, Sister Dorothy Thawada, for being here. Once again, yeah, happy feast days to everybody celebrating once again the Passover, the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Once again, Shalawam, peace and blessings to all of you. And I hope you enjoying it. And it's all that it should be as we give honor and glory and praise to the Most High Yahweh, the Ancient of Days, the Giver of Life, the Taker of Life, our Father, and His only begotten Son, Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. But as we can see here, it says on the screen that we shouldn't be going out on the Sabbath. Now, I know question come to mind where it says, well, Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, Christ the anointed one, he was out on the Sabbath. The disciples was out on the Sabbath. How can the Bible say on one that we shouldn't be out on the Sabbath, but then Hamashiach Yahweh Shai is out on the Sabbath? We're going to get that. We're going to get that. But remember when he was out, what did he always say? Is it right to do good on the Sabbath or do wrong? Right? So we're going to get that in a little bit. But let's go back here. We was in Exodus chapter 16:29. In verse 30, it says, so the people rested on the 7th day. So that's what we must do. We must rest on the 7th day. Notice let's go back real quick just to Exodus 20. Notice out of all the commandments right here, this is the only one that says remember. The only one. The other one is thou shalt not this, thou shalt not bow down, thou shalt not have any other deities, thou shalt. But this is the only one right here where he says remember. Any other one, you go down here, it says honor the father, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, all the thou. But right here in verse 8, this one says remember. And as I already said earlier, we can click on it. It's the H2142. When it says remember, the outline biblical usage, it says to remember, recall, call to mind, to be brought to remembrance, be remembered, be thought of, be brought to mind, cause to remember, remind, to mention, to record, to make a memorial, make remembrance. Oh, this one right here. Look at this one. It says to mark you. It's for a mark. It's for a sign. For those who did not know. See, when you don't keep the Sabbath day, when you don't remember the Sabbath day, you're pretty much out of the loop. You're out of the covenant. You might say, well, that's a strong thing to say, but I didn't say it. It's in the Bible. This is why we have to continue to remind our people to it said, call it to mind, to mention it. We have to mention it. We have to continue to tell our people, no matter how much they deny it and say, well, I go to church on Sunday, like tomorrow's Easter. The church houses will be filled tomorrow. But what about today? What about his Sabbath day? It's definitely not on the first day of the week, which is Sunday. What about today? So they gave him no glory today when he says, remember this day, I have set it apart. I have sanctified it. I have hallowed it. They give him no credit for that. But tomorrow on Satan's day, Hassatan's day, the devil's day, like I say, the church houses will be filled. And it's a mark. It says right here, i.e., an example, right? To remember by implication, to mention, to be male, burn incense, right? To be mindful. It says be mindful. To think on. So when he says remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy, he's telling you, you got to keep that in your rakah, in your spirit. Not only that, you got to share it with the other Ahchyam and Ahchwathyam, the brothers and sisters that are scattered, that may not know, that may have not read. As it says in Romans 10, how will the people know without a preacher? How will the people know? In Ezekiel, you have to warn them, or the blood is going to be on your hands. Let's get this right quick. Exodus chapter 31. Please turn with me to Exodus chapter 31. For those who have their Bible, please turn with me to Exodus chapter 31. Car. Let me know if I'm going too fast for anyone, and I'll slow it down even more. I don't want to move fast. I want everybody to get what's being said. Remember what it says right here on the screen, the sign of the Sabbath. So it's a sign. You're marked. That's why you have to remember it, to keep it holy. Don't forget. He does not want you to forget. Exodus chapter 31, verse 12. And Yahawah spake unto Moses, saying, speak thou also unto the children of Israel, saying, truly my Sabbath ye shall keep. I'm going to highlight this part right here. For it is a sign between me and you throughout your generations, that you may know that I am Yahawah, that doeth sanctify you. So the Most High is letting us know this is a sign between me and him, or us. And not only that, throughout your generations. So you can't say that it's over. A lot of people say, well, we rest in Hamashiach. We rest in Christ now. No, Hamashiach is the one who created the Sabbath. And he's going to tell us that as we go on through this lesson. So you can't say you rest in him now when he is the one who created the Sabbath for you. That makes no sense. You are always resting in him. You was resting in him before you knew who he was. But he created the Sabbath for us. So you can't say now it's nailed to the cross and we rest in him, which most Christians do. Like I said, or as the Bible says, for it is a sign between me and you throughout your generations forever, that you may know that I am Yahawah, the one that doeth what? Sanctify you. I'm the one that set you apart. I'm the one that sent my son to die for you, to shed his blood so he can cover you and not you won't be as a filthy rag in front of me. I did that. This is what the Most High is saying. I did that. Let's go. 14. You shall keep the Sabbath, therefore, for it is Quadash unto you. Everyone that defile it shall surely be put to death. For whosoever doeth any work therein, that soul shall be cut off from among his people. See, an individual that breaks the Sabbath day and then they deny the fool and say it's no Most High, they don't actually understand the things that they're bringing on them, or should I say the torment that they're bringing on them for life after death. They really don't understand. They have no idea the torment that they're bringing upon themselves, especially as a child of Israel. Verse 15, 6 days may work be done. So he's telling you, you can go and do work for 6 days. Now I know we in captivity, and some of us have, weird work schedules and things like this because it's not set up the way the kingdom would be set up. But he's telling us within those 6 days, you can do the work. And as priests, we work nonstop. Priests don't get days off. And believe me, every male for Israel is a priest, especially the firstborns. But you're still a priest. This is what Peter was talking about, that we are priests. 6 days may work be done, but on the 7th is the Shabbat of rest. The word Shabbat means to cease. That's where the word comes from. That's why it's Shabbat. It means to cease, not do anything. Quadash to YAHAWAH. Whosoever doeth any work in the Sabbath day, he shall surely be put to death. Now, that's just what it is. If you're doing work on the Sabbath, the Most High say you will be put to death. And you might say, well, I know people that have broke the Sabbath. I broke the Sabbath and have not been put to death yet. What death is it talking about? Is it talking about the death here on earth? Yeah, right here, you can get stoned. Back here, you can get stoned. If somebody caught you, which we'll read in a minute, somebody caught you breaking the Sabbath, they can literally take you out with 2 or 3 witnesses and put you to death and stone you. But now we under grace through the blood of Hamashiach Yahushua. So do I take somebody out and stone him to death right now, put him to death because he broke the Sabbath? No. But I do let that brother know the sin that you're committing is a sin unto death. What does that mean? That this sin will kick you out the kingdom. This sin is separation from the Most High. This sin separates you from Hamashiach Yahushua when you break the Sabbath day. It's almost like blaspheming the Most High. Not the same, but almost. Verse 16, it says, wherefore the children of Yashara'Allah, Israel, shall keep the Sabbath, to observe the Sabbath throughout their generations for a perpetual covenant. So no matter how long this earth stands, however long this earth is here, until Hamashiach Yahushua comes back to cleanse it and set up his kingdom here on earth, you have to keep the Sabbath day. It's a perpetual covenant. It does not end. It's a never-ending covenant that he made with the children of Israel, just like he made other covenants. There's other things in the earth that he made a covenant with the people, with a sign, with a token. I'm going to show you that real quick. Exodus 31:17, it says, it is a sign between me and the children of Israel forever. So I don't know if you knew this. For those who did know, all praises be to the Most High Yahweh, that you have this information, you have this understanding, you have this knowledge, all praises be. But for those who did not know, that every time you keep the Sabbath, you are showing the Most High, the Malaks, the Ahchyam on the earth, that this is a sign between me and the Most High. And I'm hearkening to his words. I am listening and obeying what it is that he said do. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. And he letting us know, if you do that and you're resting on the Sabbath and you're keeping my day Quadash, hallowed, sanctified, set apart, that this is a sign. It's like waving a flag saying, I am his. And he told me to rest on this day, and that's what I'm going to do. Imagine Hamashiach Yahushua came back on the Shabbat day. Imagine that. He came back on the Sabbath day. Look at what everybody in the world is out there doing. He said it. They will be what? They will be eating. They will be drinking. They will be getting married. They will be having a good old time. And what day do people have a good time? The majority of people in this world, what day do they have a good time? What day do they really go out all out? Friday night and Saturdays. Sundays, a little bit. Not so much on Sunday, but Saturday. That's the day that everybody really turns up and goes and does what they want to do. Imagine Christ comes back on Saturday, on the Shabbat day. How many people that say that they believe in him, as it says in the book of Matthew, many shall say to me in that day, Master, Master, have we not prophesied in your name? Have we not cast out devils in your name? He gonna say, depart from me. I don't know you. I don't know you. You who work what? Lawlessness. Look at you. You're out here on the Shabbat day, buying and selling and gallivanting and all whatever it is you're doing. And this is supposed to be a sign between me and the children of Israel forever. For in 6 days Yahweh made the Shemayim and the Aratas, and on the earth, for those who don't know in the Hebrew, and on the seventh day he rested and was refreshed. This is the same thing that we should be doing. If he rested and was refreshed, why shouldn't you rest and be refreshed? And he gave unto Moses, when he had made an end of communing with him upon Mount Sinai, 2 tablets of testimony, tables of stone written with the finger of the Most High. So these were the 2 tablets that he was coming down the mountain with. And all of the children of Israel, they heard these. They heard these commands. That's why he wrote that on the tablet, because these are the ones that they did hear. So we have to understand that it's a sign between us and the Most High. And like I say, it's all kind of signs and tokens throughout the Bible that he left here on the earth for us. Let's get one that he did with in Genesis chapter 9. Genesis chapter 9. Let me go back. Hold on. Let me see if anybody in the chat. The Aqua Dorothy said, every week I look forward to the Sabbath day. She also says, Khan, we are commanded to remember and abide in it. Khan. Now that's a big one right there. That's a big one. Because like I say, tomorrow's Sunday, unfortunately, Easter, and them church houses, they're gonna be packed up tomorrow. I mean, it ain't gonna be no room to sit down. Even the wicked one, the evil one who never go to church, he gonna go to church tomorrow. Because it's a meal behind there. You got to remember. Yeah, you go to church for an hour or two, but after that, it's a big celebration. They're going to be drinking. They're going to be smoking. They're going to be hanging out. They're going to be playing domino. It's going to be a big shindig at auntie house or mama house or grandmama house. A big shindig. They're going to eat that swine. They're going to eat that pork. They might even have some shrimp. Somebody going to cook some gumbo. So it's a big shindig. For those who don't know what shindig is, it's a big party. So they're going to have a big party after this. So even the sinner get dressed up on Easter and he make his way to church. So like the Ahchyam was saying, it's a big deal. This is why we have to rest in the Sabbath day in a true manner and in a true way, because it is a sign and it is a token, right? Shabbat Shalawam, Sister Adriana, the water for being here. All praises be to the Most High. The Ahchwathyam said, nation of kings and priests, Khan. And see, when you start to have that mindset, even for myself, I have to look in the mirror and remind myself from time to time, that, hey, I'm a priest, because you live in this world long enough, you be around it, you have to kind of rub elbows with this world, and it's nasty. It's ugh. And sometimes you can get lost in the sauce. You can kind of start to feel like, hey, man, I kind of want to go and, do that. I want to go enjoy my Saturday. Everybody else at the job, at the plantation, is talking about what they're going to do tomorrow. And, hey, happy Easter and this and that. And for a while, you might have to catch yourself and say, hold up, wait a minute. Man, when they said happy Easter, I almost said it back. I had to catch myself. That's just like around Christmas time when you go in the store to shop. You ain't paying no attention, but they got the music going, Jingle Bell. And next thing you know, in your mind, you might start singing Jingle Bell. You have to catch yourself and say, wait a minute. They almost got me. They do those things on purpose. These are your senses, your ears, your mouth, your nose, what you smell, what you hear. All these things are on purpose, right? All these things are on purpose. Let's see what she say. The Ahchwathyam, Revelation chapter 1, verse 6. Am I seeing that right? King James Version. Khan, let's get that real quick for the Ahchwathyam. Revelation, King James. What chapter 1? Verse 6. It says, John, to the 7 churches which are Asia, grace be unto you and peace from him which is, and which was, and which is to come, and from the 7 rakahs, 7 spirits, which are before his throne. Khan, all praises. Can I read 5? And from YAHAWAH HaMashiach, who is the faithful witness, and the first begotten of the dead, and the prince of the kings of the earth, unto him that loved us and washed us from our sins in his own blood. That's what I'm saying. Don't be prideful. Listen, you ain't did nothing. All your righteousness, all that you have done, man, give honor and glory to the Father and his only begotten Son. But yet people want to stand up and say, I did it on my own. I did it. I this, I that. No, it was through Hamashiach Yahushai and the Father. As it say, he covered you and washed you from your sins. You didn't do it. I don't care how much praying you did, how much knee bowing you did. Nothing you did. This is why it's grace. And it says nothing you have done and nothing you could ever do. Okay? You are filthy. And once you have that understanding, as we need to, it humbles you. And you know that, hey, it's through the blood of Hamashiach Yahushai that I'm saved. It's through the blood of Hamashiach Yahushai that I can even present myself to the Father. It's through the blood of Hamashiach Yahushai that I can even enter into the kingdom. It's nothing that I did. It's that he chose me. And like we already went through the scriptures, I think I went through that the other day when it said, you're not special. I mean, you are special, but you're not special. Like he said, I did this because of my name. This is what the Most High Yahweh says. I did this because of my name, because I chose you. I sent you to the earth, and then you chose to pollute my name in the earth. So in order for me to get it just the way I had it designed in the beginning, I had to send my son so he can die, shed his blood to cover you so you can still be righteous in my eyes because you came to the earth and polluted my name. So it's for his name's sake. That's the lesson that I just did on taking his name in vain. If you haven't watched that one, I think I did that, Thursday? If you haven't watched that class, please go back and watch that one. But as it says, and washed us from our sins in his own blood, and have made us what? Here it is. And have made us kings and priests unto the Most High and his Father. To him be the glory and dominion forever and ever. Forever and ever. So you Ahchyam out there, brothers, you have to know, man, you kings and priests. And in certain things, you know, like Peter said, you can't just do. You are a priest that was sitting here on the earth, a malak, to do the will of the Most High. And he told us while we here, hey, there are certain signs, there are certain tokens that you need to keep in remembrance, you know, to show people that you are mine. So people will know that you are different, that you are set apart. And they're going to know that in every way. They're going to know that from the beard that men have, right? They're going to know that from a woman being modest, having her head covered. Like I say, it's all type of different, well, there's one type of modesty, but unfortunately the world we live in, you know, certain men allow for their wives to do certain things and other men don't allow for their wives to have certain things. So, you know, that's always a debate. Should a woman wear makeup? Should a woman do this? Should a woman do that? But the Bible says you shall know that woman and that she's a who? Most High woman, Hamashiach YAHAWAH woman, if she's dressed modest, if she is modest. It's not about the beauty on the outside. It's about the beauty in the inside. Just as well as the man know that you're a priest. And when you look in the mirror, you have to know that you're a priest. Nobody ain't got to tell you. You should know this. You might say, well, where does it say that? We just read that. The water aqua of Dorothy for sinning that. And then let me just get Peter to show you that you are a priest. Because Peter said it right here. I believe it's 2 and 9. Yeah, it's right here. 1 Peter 2 and 9. Right? But you are a chosen generation. It says right here, a royal priesthood. So not just a regular priest, you a royal priest. Why? Because our king, Hamashiach YAHAWAH, Christ the anointed one. Dorothy and Sister Adriana, everybody says Shalawam to you. Right? A peculiar people that you should show forth the praises of him who will call you out of darkness into his marvelous light. So yes, you are a priest. Let me get that other one that I was going to go to real quick in Genesis chapter 9. Another one real quick before we move forward. This is about the covenant of the rainbow, right? With Noah and his sons. Let me jump down. Genesis chapter 9. Just like the covenant he made, telling us to remember the Sabbath, he made another covenant with Noah that say it will be a sign and a token, right? Verse 11. And I will establish my covenant with you. Neither shall all flesh be cut off any more by the waters of a flood. Neither shall there be any more be a flood to destroy the earth. So that rainbow that you see in the sky when it rains, that's a sign. Verse 12. And Ahchyam said, this is the token of the covenant which I make between me and you and every living creature that is with you for perpetual generations. I do set my bow in the cloud, and it shall be for a token of a covenant between me and the earth. So this covenant and this token and this sign is between him and everybody and the earth. All the beasts, all men, women, and the earth. Verse 14. It shall come to pass when I bring a cloud over the earth that the bow shall be seen in the cloud. Meaning when I make it rain, because you know, I've never seen it rain and we have clear skies. How you know that it's about to rain? It starts to get what? Cloudy. And those clouds brings moisture, and that moisture descends on the earth, which we call rain. But it says when you see that, you will see the bow, which is the rainbow. Verse 15, and I will what? Remember my covenant, which is between me and you and every living creature of all flesh, and the waters shall no more become a flood to destroy what? All flesh. And the bow shall be in the cloud, and I will look upon it, that I may remember the everlasting covenant between AHchyam and every living creature of all flesh that's upon the earth. And AHchyam said unto Noah, this is the token of the covenant which I have established between me and all flesh that is upon the earth. So there are many signs and there are many tokens within the Bible that the Most High has extended to us, just like this one. And you can look up in the sky when it's raining and things like that and see the rainbow. Now, what about the Sabbath day? Are you going to remember that? Are you going to keep that? You know, we have to think about these things. All praises be to the Most High. This Aqua with Adriana, she said, Khan. Aqua with Dorothy said, they're ready for the weekend. Khan. And you know what? To be honest, I feel like they set it up like that in the world system that we in. This is why we work Monday through Friday, right? For the average individual. Some people have, like I say, alternate schedules where they work Tuesday through this or Wednesday through, you know, but they set it up like this to design you to go out when? On Saturday, on that weekend. Because really, you can't really get nothing done through the week. So you really try to get everything you get done on Saturday. If you have some official business, you know, you try to get it done on Friday, but if you can't, you go Saturday. So like the Aqua of Dorothy said, they ready for the weekend. Tomorrow, I will enjoy my unleavened bread. Con. Once again, everybody out there keeping the feast, keep it holy, right? The Aqua of Dorothy also says they be wearing those big witch hats. Which hats? What hats? Oh, you talking about like on Sunday when they be wearing them big old hats when the people be going to church? Is that what she talking about? I wonder, is that what she talking about? See what she say. Tell her to come in here. She also says, Khan, we have reminded ourselves daily that we are the daughters of Zion. That's not a light thing, Khan. Not at all. Not at all. But I think at times we forget, or you may not forget, but the brotherhood or the sisterhood in general may forget. This is why we have to keep reminding, just as Peter and all the other apostles did. They kept saying, you know, before I leave this earth, I want to call to mind. I want to remember. I want to shake you up, right? Car. She said precepts, car. Shalawam family. Car. The water. Everybody, car. So within that, like I say, there's plenty signs within the Bible. Let's go to the New Testament a little bit. Let's go to the book of Mark, chapter 2. And see about our brother, our big brother, Hamashiach Yahushai, right? Christ, the anointed one. We're going to go to Mark chapter 2. And it's so much here, right? It's so much here in Mark chapter 2. This is why I say, don't let nobody point the finger at you, okay? People don't understand you all the time. People is not going to understand you, right? You going through your journey just as well as I'm going through my journey. For somebody to point the finger at you and say, well, you not doing this or you not doing that is wrong. It's wrong because they can't understand you. They don't know your journey. Just like I don't know everything you've been through in your life, you don't know through everything I've been through in my life, right? I'm going to read this. I wasn't going to read this because it's not where I want to go about the Sabbath, but I want to read this because Hamashiach Yahushai went through this and he let the people know. Mark 2:15. And it came to pass that as Yahushai sat at meat in the house, many publicans and sinners sat also together with Yahushai and his disciples, for there were many, and they followed him. And when the scribes and Pharisees saw him eat with the publicans and sinners, they said unto his disciples, how is it that he eateth with drink, or Salaki, eateth and drinketh with publicans and sinners? So they was looking at this man and they were saying, what? Yeah, I just wanted you to join in. So they was looking at this man and they were saying, how can he eat with such a people? How can he be around such a people? How can he be around such a people? Once again, verse 16, and when the scribes and Pharisees saw him eat with the publican and sinners, they said unto his disciples, how is it that he eateth and drinketh with publicans and sinners? Has somebody ever said that to you? Has somebody ever said you a believer? Why are you with that person? Why are you associated with that person? Why are you around that person? When Yahawashi heard it, he said unto them, they that are whole have no need for a physician. So if you got it all together, you so righteous, right? You got everything going. You ain't never did nothing wrong. Then you don't need a physician. Hamashiach Yahawashi said, but they that are sick, I came not to call the righteous, but sinners to repentance. See, people always think in their eyes that they this or they that. But one thing about the Most High and His only begotten Son, He brings you back down to reality and lets us know that you're nothing. You're dirt. You're ground. The very spirit that you have is not even yours. The very body that you have is not even yours. The hair that you have is not even yours. Your toes, your fingers, your nails, your eyes, everything is His. And you possess nothing. This is why people, when they come to the earth, they work so hard to possess what? Things here. They want something to what? Hold on to, value. In this life, they tell you if you own a home, if you own a car, if you own this, if you have money in your bank, then you are somebody. You have value. But is that value to the Most High? Is that value to Hamashiach Yahawashi? No, it's not. There's no value at all. Matter of fact, He tells you to sell those things. So if you have a home, sell it. You got a car, sell it if you can. Whatever you have, sell it if you can. We should be humble. We should have minimum of what we need. But as everybody else, we get trapped in the well, not everybody. I can't say everybody. I can only speak for myself. We get trapped in the illusion of this world. You get a house, you want a bigger house. You get a car, you want a nicer car. You get the nicer car, you want even a nicer car. Whatever you acquire, you want more. And we should only have what we need here. And He said the only thing we need is garment, which are clothing, or raiment, something to eat, and shelter. That's the only thing we need. So just remember that Yahawashi came for the sinner. And people are always going to point and say, as these Pharisees and scribes and everybody else in the world always point and say something, how can you this, how can you that? But like He said, I came for the sinner. I didn't come for the perfect people. But let's jump down to the Sabbath thing right here on 23. It says, and it came to pass that He went through the cornfields on the Sabbath day, and His disciples began, as they went to pluck the ears of the corn. And the Pharisees said unto Him, behold, why do they on the Sabbath day that which is not lawful? And He said unto them, remember, the disciples are with Hamashiach Yahawashi, Christ the Anointed One, who created or made the Sabbath. And here is man who believes that he's righteous. He's going to come and ask the one who created the Sabbath day. He created it. And this man is going to come up to him as a Pharisee and say, behold, why do they on the Sabbath day, which is not lawful? Who said it's not lawful? You said it? Because the one who created it is going to say this. And He said unto them, Have you not read that David did when he had need and was hungered, he and they that were with him? Verse 26, and how he went into the house of the Most High in the days of APBTTMH. I don't want to pronounce that wrong. I guess I just did. The high priest, and did eat the showbread, which is not lawful to eat, but for the priests, and gave also to them which were with him. And he said to them, the Sabbath was made for man, and not man for the Sabbath. Can anybody tell me what Mark 2:27 means? Let me check the chat. Mark 2:27. If anybody's in the chat listening, please, can anybody elaborate and tell me what do they think Mark 2:27 is? We can get it in comparative text if that could help, right? New King James says, and he said to them, the Sabbath was made for man and not man for the Sabbath. NLT says, YAHAWAH said to them, the Sabbath was made to meet the needs of people and not people to meet the requirements of the Sabbath. Oh. So what do you take from that? Therefore, the Son of Man is the AHchyam also of the Sabbath. So he's over the Sabbath. He created the Sabbath, but he's over it. He's the master of it. Why is he the master of it? Because he created it for us. He gave it to us that we can rest in the Most High on this day. He sanctified it. He hallowed it. He set it apart. That's why he's the master of it. Remember, it's a cease day, a rest day. And he wants us to remember that. Anybody that's lived in this world know that this world can get overwhelming, you know, especially for those type of individuals who work 70 hours, 80 hours, 90 hours a week. You know, if you ever live like that, if you ever work like that, you know, going to work at 5 in the morning, not getting off to 8 or 9 o'clock at night, and you just working all day. You watch the sun go up, go down, you know, that's your whole life is working 7 days a week. And they will drive you like that. They will. And you will drive yourself like that. Why? Because you want the things of this earth. You want money, you want finances, you want home, you want cars, you want the things of this earth. So you will drive yourself like that to accomplish and acquire these things here in the earth. But through the glory of the Most High and his only begotten Son, Hamashiach Yahushua, he's not going to allow us to do that. He said, no, I'm going to give you a day of rest, and you're going to rest in me on that day. For those 6 days, you can do all that you want to do. Before that one day, you're going to rest in me and breathe and say, like it says in the Bible, to be what? Rejuvenated, rested, to feel rest. Let me see if the chat said anything. Sister Adriana says something. She says, I think that maybe the Shabbat was made by the one who made it, and he was the rest of the disciples. Salakia. If I'm not misreading, it says, and he was the rest of the disciples that were with him. Salakia. It's hard to explain. No, I understand. It is hard at times, but I understand what you're saying. Basically, exactly what I just said. Hamashiach Yahushua created the world that we live in, and on that 7th day, he baraked it, which means he exalted it, and he hallowed it, which means sanctified it to set it apart. So I agree, and I understand what it is that you're saying. I totally agree. Now let's get some more. Let's go to the book of First Maccabees. Let's go there real quick. Let me stop sharing here. First Maccabees chapter 1. Now, also, we have to remember that the Catholics took out the Sabbath day and they changed it. For those who may not know that, let me show that before I jump over here. right? The Catholics changed theirs to the Lord's Day, right? And we know who the Lord is for those who have done the research. Who is the Lord? Can anybody tell me? Lord. Who is the Lord? Who is Lord? When you do the research, for those who do the research, you come up with another name, which is Baal, Baal, right? And as you can see it, am I sharing it? I am sharing it. You can see on the screen on the left-hand side, my left, it says Biblical 10 Commandments. On the right-hand side, my right, it says Catholic 10 Commandments. Now, should there be a difference between biblical and Catholic? No. But as you can see on theirs, let me move that arrow. First of all, on the biblical side, the fourth commandment, it says, remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. First of all, we can start at 2, where it says, you shall not take the name of YAHAWAH, your power, in vain. But in biblical, it says, you shall not make for yourself an idol. Why did they take that away? Because they have all type of idols within the Catholic Church. So they said, hey, we'll just remove this. So that way it doesn't seem like we're breaking the commands. And then you can see right here, which should be the fourth commandment, and theirs is the third. It says, remember to keep holy. It says the Lord's Day. What Lord? Whose Lord? Whose Lord? What power are you talking about? Because over here in biblical time, it say, remember the Sabbath day and to keep it holy. So you have to understand the difference here, how they switched it up. So their 10 commandments as a Catholic is totally different than the biblical 10 commandments as you see on the screen. This is why they're able to have those idols, bow to those idols. You don't see anything of that in here. This is why they have church on Sunday, or whatever they call it, mass, or whatever they call it. This is why they have it on their Sundays, because they're keeping who? Satan's day holy. The devil's day, that's his day. Let's go here. You might say, well, that's kind of harsh to say, you know. Well, I'm going to show you. Let's go to 1 Maccabees chapter 1, and we'll start about verse 40. I am so sorry, guys, for these birds. I do apologize. From now on, they will be moved and they will not be heard anymore. So I do apologize. Verse 1, it says, moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people. Is that okay? If Donald Trump, the president of the United States, wrote or got on the news and said that we should all be one people, would that be okay? Is that okay? You have to ask yourself these questions. And everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Yeah. Many also of the Israelites consented to his religion. A lot of Israelites have consented to the religion of Christianity. They're in all the churches. Like I say, they will be there tomorrow with bells on. I believe the Aqua Dorothy was talking about those hats that they wear. If I'm right, let me know if I'm right about that, about those hats that they wear. But they'll all be there tomorrow for this fake Easter, which is really Istar Day, you know, the fertility goddess. I wish I had that picture here with me, you know, but that's what it is. And sanctified unto idols and profane what? The Sabbath. So this is what the heathen wanted to do, but the Israelites consented to it. They was okay with it. Just as they are today, they're okay with it. For the king has sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judea, that they should follow the strange law of the land and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbath and festival days. That's the same thing they do to us today. The same thing they do to us today. You cannot go to your job and tell them, hey, you need every Sabbath day off. Hey, I need every feast day off. It's going to be an issue. It's going to be a problem. You may not even have that many days to take off. See, you don't know it's an issue. You don't know it's a problem until you go and ask for these things. And then you will see how evil these people are against not only you, but the Most High. Because they don't really hate you. They really hate the Most High. You might ask for one Shabbat off and they'll give it to you. But I'm talking about all year long. Every Shabbat, every feast day. This is separate from your sick days when you're not feeling good. 46. And pollute the sanctuary and Quadash people. Verse 47. And set up altars and groves and chapels of idols and sacrifice swine flesh and unclean beasts. Why did they have to go and sacrifice swine's flesh? And why did they have to choose everything that was an unclean beast? Why? Because this is how the heathen are. This is why they had these restaurants set up. Red Lobster. You know you notice all the seafood that goes against the Most High is the delicacy in the world. It doesn't amaze you that everything that goes against the Most High they push out. Pork, crab, shrimp, oysters, lobster. Like they push this stuff out. You can't even go nowhere to eat without that stuff. If you want something else, it's hard to find. It's hard to find. Let's go to 48. That they should also leave their children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness. Listen, if you have not circumcised your sons, especially when you had them, please get your children circumcised. Get your boys circumcised. For any women that may be having children coming in the near future, please circumcise your children. Circumcise your child. That was something between the children of Israel and the Most High. Now, if you a Moabite, then I don't care. If you're an Ammonite, then I don't care. If you're an Edomite, then I don't care. But if you are Israelite, please circumcise your children. Circumcise the boys, okay? 50. And whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die. What are you going to do? Are you going to hearken to the king? Are you going to hearken to the president? Are you going to listen to the Most High? Well, Acts 5:29 said we would rather obey who? The Most High than men. In the self-same manner wrote he to his whole kingdom and appointed overseers over all the people, commanding the cities of Judea to sacrifice city by city. Then many of the people were gathered unto them to win every one that forsook the law. And so they committed evils in the land and drove the Israelites into secret places, even wheresoever they could flee and succor. So they drove all the Israelites out. Isn't that the same thing they do here? If you're an Israelite and you want to serve the Most High, what are you called? They drive you out. Nobody wants to be around you. They push you out. You in a cult. You this. You in a religion. You always in something. You always in something. But one thing they never realize is that if they go hearken to the word and see the word and listen to the word, which they probably have, they just despise it and reject it anyway. But this is how you know that you're the children of Israel. when you go through these things. Let me jump down a little bit to 56. And when they had rent in pieces the book of the law, what did they do? They tore the book of the Torah apart. They tore it up. What's they found? They burnt them with fire. Why did they burn the Torah? Why did they burn the words of the Most High? It says in 57, and whosoever was found with any book. I think David Lynn, another preacher, he was just saying that Canada is banning the Bible, right? And he was warning everybody to go and purchase a Bible if they don't have one, but because Canada is banning the Bible. So there's nothing new under the sun. This is something the heathen have constantly been doing because they don't want the word of the Most High to go forth. And whosoever was found with any the book of the Testament, or if any committed to the law, the king's commandment was that they should be put to death. Thus did they by their authority unto the Israelites every month, to as many as were found in the city. So they were just killing our brothers. They were just killing us, murdering us, because of the ones that wanted to stand up for the Sabbath, for the feast days. This is something that we have to understand. Now, the 5 and 20th day of the month, they did sacrifice upon the idol altar, which was upon the altar of AHchyam. At which time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women that had caused their children to be what? Circumcised. So it was some Ahchwathyam. I'm telling you, the Bible always talk about our sisters who stands up. You know, those Proverbs women. Not a lot of them out here. There's not a lot of them. But there's a few. And it's always talking about those women, how they stood up, that they circumcised their children. They circumcised their boys. But now it was time, now that the heathen found out, they wanted to put them to death. Verse 61, and they hanged. Listen to what the Bible says. They hanged their what? Infants about their necks. These are the type of people. These are the type of people that we're around, that we have to rub elbows with, that we have to be in the world with day to day. Right? Their ancestors. You might say, well, they didn't do it. Well, their ancestors did it. So is it okay? No. They hang our forefathers, little children, infants, babies. They hung them by the neck. And then went in their houses and went through anything that they wanted to go through and slew them that had what? Circumcised their children. They killed them. So because you circumcised your child, you got killed. Well, if you're an Israelite, that's what you got to do. Who you going to fear, the Most High or that man? Howbeit many in Israel were fully resolved and confirmed in themselves not to eat any unclean thing. They wasn't going to do it. They wasn't going to eat no swine, pork, crab, shrimp, lobster, and they was going to keep the Sabbath day holy. Wherefore, the rather to what? Die. That they might not be what? Defiled with the meats, and that they might not profane the Quadash covenant. So then they died. Would you die for the feast day? Would you die for the Sabbath day? Would you die for the Most High? Would you die for the Most High? Would you die for Hamashiach Yahushua that laid down his life for you? A lot of people say they would, but would you really? You start thinking about, oh, you're not going to be here no more. I didn't get to do everything in my life that I wanted to do. These people were ready to die, and it says, and there was very great wrath upon Israel. It's always been like that on the children of Israel. It's always been great wrath put on us. But see, these people right here, our forefathers, they stood up. They wasn't going to go for King Antiochus' stuff. And yeah, they got put to death. So what? So what? They got put to death. That's a good thing to be put to death, right? Let me see if oh, it's a lot of comments. I didn't get all this. Let me see. The sister Adriana, Aqua Adriana, she says, I actually enjoy the birds in the background. Khan, the water. Okay, beautiful. She also says, I wouldn't agree. Let me see. Dorothy, she says, Khan, those big hats, Khan. So that's what it was, Khan. It says Ezekiel 8:16 and Jeremiah 8:2. Let me get that real quick. Ezekiel 8:16. Let's get there. Ezekiel 8:16. It says, I'll wait for you to get there. Ezekiel 8:16. It says, he brought me into the inner court of Yahweh's house. And behold, at the door of the temple of Yahweh, between the porch and the altar, I was not sharing, Salakia, my apologies. Let me share it now. Khan, you should be sharing. Is it sharing now? Okay, Khan, all praises. Verse 16, and he brought me into the inner court of Yahweh's house. And behold, at the door of the temple of Yahweh, between the porch and the altar, were about 25 men, with their back towards the temple of Yahweh, and their faces towards the east. And they worshiped the sun towards the east. Look how evil our forefathers are. I can't say were, because they back here on the earth again. Are. Verse 17, it says, then he said unto me, hast thou seen this, O son of man? Listen to this. Is it a light thing to the house of Judah that they commit the abominations which they commit here? But they have filled the land with violence and have returned, Salakia, and have returned to provoke me to anger. And lo, they put the branch to their nose. Therefore will I also deal in fury. My eye shall not spare, neither will I have pity. And though they cry in my ears with a loud voice, the Most High says, yet will I not hear them. Look at what they doing. The water for that, Aqua Dorothy. Look at what they doing. Worshiping. Not the Most High, but they worshiping who? The sun. That's what they're going to be doing tomorrow on Easter. That's exactly what they're going to be doing tomorrow. Everybody, all of them going to be in those church houses, storehouses is what they really are. And they're going to be worshiping the sun tomorrow. And she had another one. What was the other one? Jeremiah what? Jeremiah chapter 8, verse 2. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 8, verse 2. King James Version. And it says, and they shall spread them before the sun and the moon and all the host of the Shemayim, whom they have loved and whom they have served, and after whom they have walked, Khan, and whom they have sought, and whom they have worshipped. They shall not be gathered, nor be buried. They shall be for dung upon the face of the earth. And that's exactly what they get. Worshiping the mother deities, worshiping the sun, worshiping the moon and the stars and the goddesses and Ishtar. Can I read 3? And death shall be chosen rather than life. By all the residue of them that remain of this evil family, which remaineth in all the places where I have driven them, saith Yahweh of hosts. All praises be to the Most High Yahweh. The water for that was powerful right there. Powerful. King. Yeah, king crabs everywhere around here. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Yeah, boy. So the Ahchwathyam, she said, man, they selling king crab like 95 going south out there. Everywhere, she say. Notice that they push that towards us, though. You know? I wonder, and I can't say with the certainty, I wonder, do more black people eat crab, shrimp, and lobster than actually white people? I really wonder that. Because when you go to these things, what do you see? You always see our people. You know? So I wonder that. I wonder. But yeah. The Aqua Adriana, you feel like reading that?
I tried to get my son circumcised, but the doctor refused. So because there's no medical problems with him. The only other place nearby is a Messianic Mohel that would do it if I joined them.
Con. Well, don't just join them to jump into that. Don't just join them to jump into that. We would have to look into something, but I understand that the doctors may not want to do it. But as long as you're paying for it, they'll do it. But I'm pretty sure, you know, they want to know why and, you know, things like that. But you say when you wanted to do yours, that you just had to pay for it, right?
I got them done when they were babies.
Okay, she said she got them done when they were babies. We'll look into that, though. You know, let's look into that. How old are they? Are they still young? Are they an older young man? Are they teenagers? You know, because that's something that has to be done. Remember when Moses on his way back to Egypt with him and his children, you know, the Most High almost killed them. He almost never made it to Egypt because his son wasn't circumcised, right? And then remember his wife, she had to cut it and do it right there. But the Most High was going to kill Moses because he didn't circumcise his children, you know, or his son, I should say. So, you know, on the side note, we could do some information and see what that's about and, you know, see how much the procedure costs and go from there, you know. But don't just join somebody so they will get it done. Not unless you know, you feel comfortable with that and things like that. So I don't know. But she says, I haven't found a way to get that done on my son. Con. We definitely have to tap into that. I'm pretty sure, you know what, since that procedure, they know what it means and how it's behind the Most High. Watch it be an outrageous amount. And I'm not saying it's an easy procedure, but watch it be some outrageous amount for something probably it takes like a few seconds. My aunt, she said that's crazy. Let's see. Aqua Dorothy, she says that the country is a hot mess. They have legalized what? Suicide. When? Where? How did they do this? Where they do that at? Put that in the chat. They legalized suicide? What? It's just a hot mess. You go to the free doctor and get the pills to stop your own life. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Sister Adriana, she says they won't, sis, because they only do it for medical reasons, like if there's an infection or something like that.
She could say that it was a religious purpose.
Yeah, like a religious purpose. Yeah.
Because it's not
I bet you come up there with a pocket full of briefcase full of money and ask them to do it, and somebody would jump to it real quick. You know, and that's sad. And that's sad.
She said she would pay for it.
Oh, she said she was paid for it? They still wouldn't do it?
They won't do it.
Like that could be
21 years old. You gotta read the rest of the comments.
Oh, okay. He says she's 21. Let me go down.
21 but special needs. I asked to pay out of pocket, but they refused. Honestly, I might have to travel out of state, which is what Sister Dorothy suggested also. And Sister Dorothy said Zipporah had to circumcise everybody and she was not happy about it. Moses' wife.
Con. Yeah, that's why I say she threw the foreskin at his feet.
Yeah.
and called him a bloody man, right? So this is something that's important now.
What you said, Canada has free medical.
Free medical. We need that. Canada.
I wonder how far that is for her.
But I do want to say this to the Adriana right here. You know, he's 21, but he's special needs. So, you know, I'm pretty sure you still have you take care of him still probably. So I was gonna say he's 21, so he can kind of handle that on his own, because in the Bible, when a man or a young boy comes to a certain age, then it's on him. But with that being said, you know, say that again. She said, is he what?
High functioning special needs.
She asked, is he a high functioning special needs?
Because I'm wondering, maybe if she told the doctor that he's not keeping up with his hygiene.
Oh, okay. She said maybe if you asked the doctor if he wasn't keeping up with his hygiene, that it could be a health issue, something like that. But I was gonna say initially that since he's 21, it's not on you. But since he is in those circumstances, you know, and you have you done all that you could do, and you spoke to the doctors and they still are denying you, I would just say pray to the Most High. He does understand certain things. He does understand the captivity we in. He does understand the things that we're going through. So I would definitely say pray to the Most High on that, and never stop trying, you know, because it may be a time that it may happen. So
Khan, my brother had his done when he was 22.
Khan,
I remember him being in pain.
Khan, see. So, you know, in anything we can help with, let us know. And like you say, maybe you might have to travel or go somewhere else or something like that. I know it may be a lot on you. You know, I don't know the circumstances, but you know, we here.
He is under my care.
Khan, exactly. Khan, you know. So any way that we can help, if you need help, if you need assistance, anything that we can help with, definitely let us know. We here. But I would say just pray to the Most High and let him know, because this is something that, you know, since he's under your care, he is, you know, special needs. I would just, you know, get up with the Most High, pray to him, and see if he brings something your way, you know, for that to be done. But if not, you know, you have exhausted all of the avenues that you have tried, and not only that, you know, you pray to the Most High about it. So, you know, you did all that you could do at this point in time. But we can see, as Aqua Dorothy says, you know, 22 right here, you know, so it's never too late. You know, never too late. Let's think about how old Moses was. It what? Well, it wasn't Moses. All of the boys that had to get circumcised, they were grown too when the Most High told them to circumcise. Abraham wasn't no little boy, right? So, you know, Adriana says, Khan, he's under my care. And then she also says, Khan, we'll be praying on it. Khan, all praises. And like I say, that doesn't deter anything, because now we're spiritual. But just, you know, a lot of times our people are having children now, especially little boys. And if it's possible to get it done when they're born, I'll just encourage our sisters out there and our brethren that don't know that when your child is born and it's a little boy, to get him circumcised. That was our culture. That was our custom. That's something we did. Other nations didn't do that. That's why they don't really do it to those other people. But we did that. It was a custom, and it's a sign between us and the Most High. Only the children of Israel were circumcised. So, you know, all praises be to
a lot of some women, majority women who don't have help when their children are born or their sons are born, it costs to get them circumcised. And I'm pretty sure it probably costs a lot more now, because I remember it was like $250 when they were born.
Okay, for those who, hopefully you heard it.
And they did it like it had to be done while you were still in the hospital. So
right after you had them.
right after, like it was like a day later, they did it.
Okay.
You know? So I don't know how they do it now, but I know it's probably more expensive now, and people don't want to pay the money.
Yeah, she said it's expensive. Back then, years ago, 20-some years ago, she said it was like $250. Now, mind you, you're talking about 22, 25 years ago. So you can imagine what it is now. It might be like $2,500.
No,
I am exaggerating a little bit, but you know, in this economy, in this world, we just don't know. And sometimes you got to come out of pocket for that, you know, and then it's hard. So, like I said, it's just something to be spoke on, talked about. Like it says, remember the Sabbath. These are things that we should call to mind. We should let our sisters know. We should let our brothers know. So when they do have children, this is something that they can go over, see if it's covered. If it's not covered, come to the brotherhood, see if we can get a pot going so it can be done, because this is something that's for the Most High, right? But like I say, at the end, I know it's hard, especially when they get older. And like my wife was saying, it's something that they may not cover. And we don't know the price now. And it might be an outrageous price. I'm not saying it's $2,500, but it could be, you know.
Either way, the Most High is just, and His mercy is great. His will shall be done for His Son.
Con. And that's exactly why I say just pray on it. Because once you pray on it, He knows. And like the Ahchwathyam said, His will be done, you know. So all praises be to the Most High for that one. I'm going to go to the book of Numbers real quick, chapter 15, about breaking the Sabbath. Numbers 15 and 32. We got to remember it, but also we're going to talk about breaking it a little bit, right? Numbers 15:32, and it says, and while the children of Israel were in the wilderness, they found a man that gathered sticks upon the Sabbath day. And they that found him gathering sticks brought him unto Moses and Aaron and to all the congregation. And they put him in a ward, a holding cell, a jail, because it was not declared what should be done to him. And Yahawah said unto Moses, the man shall surely be put to death. All the congregation shall stone him with stones without the count. And all the congregation brought him without the count and stoned him with stones. And he died, as Yahawah commanded Moses. And Yahawah spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, and bid them that they make fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generations, and that they put upon the fringe of the borders a ribbon of blue. So for those who don't know, now you know. This is why we wear fringes, and this is why we put the ribbon of blue. You can find this in the book of Numbers, chapter 15, 32 on down. Now, some might say, did they wear fringes before this? Well, it's commanded right here to wear fringes. And then it says in 39, and it shall be unto you for a fringe. This is why we wear them, that you may look upon it and remember it. So having fringes on, right? It's a remembrance, a memorial, just like remember the Sabbath day. So every time you see an Ahchyam or Ahchwathyam with fringes on, it's a remembrance. What? Of all the commandments of Yahawah, and do them, and that you seek not after your own heart and your own eyes, after what you used to go a whoring. And everybody that was a whore before, you should raise your hands. Never be ashamed of what you were or what you are. You a whore? Because the Most High look at us like that. You a whore if you going after other deities. If you worshiping the sun, the moon, the stars, what's the other things they be wearing? Crystals. If you say, listen to this, if you say, I just believe in a higher power, you a whore. Because you won't give honor and glory where it belongs. So you a weasel trying to weasel out in a way where you instead of you saying, yeah, I know the Most High is all powerful and he's up there, you just gonna say, I believe in a higher power. That's just a weasel. So verse 40, it says that you may remember and do all my commandments and be Kodash unto Yahawah, your power. And we haven't been doing that. We haven't been doing that. So this is something that we need to call to mind, remembrance, to know that, hey, we should have our fringes on daily, all the time, nonstop. Why? So we can call to remembrance. We should have this. All praises be to the Most High. The Aqua of Dorothy says something. My job has what?
My job has some mandatory overtime. I had to let them know I'm not allowed to work on the Shabbat. Now that I'm working from home, I can work after the Shabbat.
Con. And see, that's just another thing. Like I say, these jobs, these institutions, they're not set up for the Most High laws. They set up to work you like a what? Plantation, like a slave. Notice what she said in her comment. We had what? Mandatory overtime. How can you mandate somebody that they must work overtime? But that's how some jobs are. I had a job like that years ago. You know, you had to. There was no if and buts about it. You couldn't come and say, hey, man, I just want to do 8 hours a day. You would have got dropped right then and there. The minimum, the very minimum was 12 to 13 hours a day. That's just that was the minimum. If you wanted to do 16, they was like giving applause. So much so that a man lost his life on the way home. And after that man died because he ran into the back of a bus, then they start telling us that we can only work 14 days straight. No, Salakia, 16 days straight, and then we had to have 1 day off. Because before that man died, we didn't have to take any days off. We can work 5 months straight, no days off, 7 days a week, as many hours as you wanted. 16 hours, 17 hours. But when that man died, I think it's something called a Cal OSHA came in, and they said, hey, these people can only work 16 days straight and no more than, I think it was 14 hours a day.
She said, Khan, we had mandatory overtime for a whole year. I still work overtime during the week and on Sundays.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, Khan, mandatory overtime. And it's a lot of people out there like that, you know, a lot of people. So, you know, if you have to work like that, hey, all praises, just, you know, go through it like the Aqua of Dorothy said. Hey, I let them know on the Shabbat, I can't do it. I can do it after the Shabbat, but I can't do it on the Shabbat. And you have to stand on that. You have to stand on that. Once again, who you love more, the Most High or your job? You know, in that institution, once you die, it's going to continue on. And when you go in front of Hamashiach Yahushai, you can't be talking about, well, you know, I did it because of this. And listen, nothing that you have, you're going to take with you. He tries to get that in our mind that, let's get that real quick. Let me go here. Let's get that. I think it's 1 Timothy. 1 Timothy chapter 6, since we talking about that revenue. Yeah, here it is. 1 Timothy. Am I sharing this? Con, I am. She said, in all honesty, need the money. Con, we all do. And that's the only reason. But it's the way they got the system set up. It's the way they got the system set up. You know?
If she wasn't working overtime, she would need to get a second job.
Man. Yeah. And that's so, and that's just, that's the way, what they got us. That's how they got us. That's how they got us, you know, and it's sad. I understand because, hey, to be honest, I'm thinking about getting a second job, you know, That's
everything is so expensive, even chicken wings.
Everything. And I don't even know how we have enough chicken wings to go around the whole world or go around the United States. You know, we should have a shortage, but hey, everything is super expensive. You know, a lot of times wife do the shopping, but even when I go or like, you know, when she go, you look in the basket and you like, man, like this is $100-something or $100. I got like 5 items. So yeah.
I've been fussing about the price of chicken wings for the past 3 or 4 years.
Man. And they just keep going up. In a minute, we ain't gonna be able to afford chicken, so we ain't gonna have to worry about it. There will be no more Wingstop because we won't be able to afford it. There will be no more chicken wings. You know. Let's get this real quick in 1 Timothy chapter 6. You know.
6 what? 6.
I'm gonna start at 7. 1 Timothy 6 and 7. It says, "For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out." That's the mindset we should have. But at the same time, we do have to live here. And like she said, we barely can't even live. We can't afford groceries. We can't afford rent. We definitely can't afford car payments, insurance, all the stuff that they charging us. We can't even afford it. We're robbing Peter to pay Paul. And both Peter and Paul don't have no money. Verse 8, "And having food and raiment, let us be therewith content." So Paul is saying, as long as you have something to eat, and as long as you got some clothes on your back, some raiment, be content with that. But we know our people are not content. If that raiment don't say Gucci on it, if that raiment don't say Prada, or I don't even know these new things that the kids wear, Essential, Amari, or something like that, Amir, I don't know. But if it doesn't have these certain brand titles on it, then it's meaningless. Like there's not even, you know. But Paul is letting us know right here in 1 Timothy 6 that just long as you got some clothing on your back, long as you got a little food to eat. Verse 9, "But they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in their destruction and perdition. For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some covet after, they have erred from the faith." So if you want money or love money, and you covet after it, you long for it, you desire it, it says you erred from the faith. You have went astray. You went off. So all those people that you see that call themselves Christians, believers, and they always talking about chasing that bag, getting that money, they love it. I'm not saying to pay for your little, you know, to pay for your day-to-day life, things that you need. Like it says right there, food and raiment, shelter. Not talking about that. I'm talking about people that have abundant amount of money and they still striving for more. They have went off the path, right? If you have $10 million in the bank and you have numerous of things going on in your life and you still want more money and you okay, you got plenty of clothes, plenty of raiment, you know, housing, and you okay, but you still longing for more, you desiring more, then you went astray from the faith and pierced himself with what? Many sorrows. You don't know what that money is going to truly bring. But thou, O man of the Most High, flee these things. See, the Most High telling us to flee these things and follow after righteousness, godliness, faith, love, patience, meekness. Fight the good fight of faith. Lay a hold of the eternal life, whereunto thou art also called, and have professed a good profession before many witnesses. I give thee charge in the sight of the Most High, who quickeneth all things, and before Hamashiach YAHAWAH, who before Pontius Pilate witnessed a good confession, that thou keep this commandment without spot and rebukable until the appearing of our Adawan YAHAWAH HaMashiach. We have to understand that, that money, hey, it's the root of all evil. And it drives some people to do certain things. A lot of our Ahchyam have lost their life behind money. A lot of our women have lost their lives behind money, or they throw their lives away, I should say, behind money. The popular thing today, and has been over for a period of time, is to call our women what? Gold diggers. They're digging, searching, seeking after what? Gold, the money. But when you do such a thing, it lets us know up here that it's the root of what? All evil. It's the root of all evil. And it makes you go away from the Most High. So we just have to be careful when it comes to the money. That's all I say. We just have to be very cautious, very careful. The Aqua of Dorothy says something right there. Go ahead. If the Most High helps.
If the Most High helps me get my own house, I'm going to have hens and a vegetable garden. And she said, Haggai 1:6, ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Con. We earn wages, but it's gone before we cash a check, a bag with holes.
Ain't that the truth? And listen, I was thinking about that the other day, yesterday. Hey, Aqua, and it hurt. It hurt when you work, you get the check, and it's all gone. And you really don't even have enough to make it until the next time till you get paid. You don't even have enough. And it puts you in a very depressive state, But all praises to the Most High. It could be worse. You could have nothing left. You could have not enough to pay your bills, which is fine too. It is what it is. And like Paul said, you just got to be content with where you at. But this is how we know the captivity that we in, it won't be like that forever. It won't be like that forever. All praises to the Most High that it won't be like that. That we will be raised up one day and everything will be righteous. I mean, the whole system. They're not even supposed to keep your money. Every day you work, you're supposed to get your money that day, according to the Bible. You're not supposed to wait every 2 weeks, once a week. Whatever day you work, you're supposed to, you gave services that day, you get wages that day. Imagine me, somebody come to my yard to do the work, and I tell them, hey, I'm going to pay you in 2 weeks. But no, you got to do the work today, but I'm going to pay you in 2 weeks. That's what they do to us, and it's not right. She said, Con, it's not easy, Con, some companies pay once a month. Con, once a month. Some companies twice a week, and then other companies every week. But even if you get it every week, it's still nothing there. Even if you get it every 2 weeks. Man, once that 2 weeks, you waiting on that next check. Like you waiting on it. You broke before it even come. You might have to go 2 or 3 days broke before you even get to that next pay period. And if you get paid once a month, you broke at the end of the month. A week, most people, not everybody, but most people, that last week of the month, you broke. You might have to even borrow some money just to make it to payday. And that's the average person living here in the U.S. The average person. Some are below that. So, man, like they say, I just can't wait for Mashiach to come back when he comes back. I'm not rushing him, but, this place is just evil. They keep raising the prices, but they don't raise your wages. How can we keep up and buy stuff when you keep raising prices, but you're not raising our wages? And we're below poverty and below wages, but you keep raising the prices for food, vegetables, gas, oil, medical. Like how can we We can't keep up. You know, so we definitely feel you, Ahchwathyam. We definitely feel you. Go ahead, read that. I can't see it. It's kind of small.
She said, if you can look around your house and see where all of your money went, that is a problem. Your money should go.
Hold on, Salakia.
Your money should go that fast or shouldn't go that fast. I don't know. Then it says, con, it's not easy. Con, some companies pay once a month. Oh, and then she said, then they take taxes, and at the end of the year, you owe more taxes. So you work 2 jobs to make ends meet and end up owing Uncle Sam more money. It's a mess.
Exactly. Me and the wife was just having this conversation. You know, we don't make enough money. We don't make enough money. And then on top of that, like the Ahchwathyam just said, when you do your taxes, they turn around and tell you you owe them more money. And you like, I ain't even make enough money. I don't even have no money. And they like, well, you still owe us money. You made too much money. It's just a hot mess. It's like, how can you make it? They don't want you to. They want you to be stressed out, depressed, working 2-3 jobs, just a hot mess. That's exactly what they want from us. That's exactly how they want us. And that's exactly how they got us. And for anybody to say that we're not in captivity, like your mind, I don't know where you are. You are completely lost. And the more money you make, it's the more problems. I tell you this, we would make it if we didn't have to pay federal tax, state tax, FICA, Social Security, Medi-Cal, all of these different, the whole list.
She said, and there's nothing worse than owing taxes. It's like owing money to the mafia.
Yeah, because they're going to get it regardless. They'll stop everything. They'll go into your account. They go to your job. They're going to just take it. And they're going to hound you, you know. And even when you file taxes again, they'll snatch that. So, yeah, I mean, it's just horrible. It's horrible to what we have to go through and what we live in. The financial is just horrible, you know. And this is why we try to tell our children that it's so important for them to get a trade or, you know, get your degree or whatever it is you're going to do so you don't have to go through this hardship. So you don't have to live like this. So you don't have to go from check to check. So you'll be able to pay your rent or your mortgage and not be stressed out. But hey, Adriana says, con, them devils steal wherever they can. Man, they do. Wherever.
Sister Dorothy says sales tax, utility taxes, vehicle registration tax, everything we do gets taxed.
Tax. Home tax. Yeah. Home tax. Everything. Even when you go and buy a soda pop, that's tax. Whatever you do, they tax you. You know. So we just can't, you know, and this is why I say when people say, well, we're not in captivity. You lost if you think you're not in captivity. And then on top of that, it's not even real food. It's something that they made. So they made it for pennies on the dollar and then sell it to you for 3-4 times the amount of what they spent for it. Like the gas I always talk about, or the oil, I should say, that they taken out of the earth that nobody owns. The Most High put it there, and they sucking it out of the earth and then charging us for it. That's why when you drive, you see those things pumping out of the ground. They pumping the oil out. Well, the Most High put that oil there. But men came along and they're going to pump it out of the ground and then sell it to us and then make billions and millions of dollars. You know, so it's just sad. It really is. The Ahchwathyam Adriana said it's so hard. We with you. We with you. It's hard, you know, and this is why we got to lean on one another. And this is why it's good to share these things with one another too.
Sister Georgie said, I still owe medical tax for not having Obamacare. I can't pay $900 a month for that mess. So I was getting a tax fine for not having it. So that's what happens when you think that you can go without health care.
Right.
And when the end of the year comes and you got to pay taxes, there's a question to ask you, did you have health care?
I think we should all just go off grid and leave. Burn our Social Security. No, let me stop. I do, though. I really do.
She said, and they took away your blessing. So if you buy land and strike oil, the oil belongs to the government.
Of course. You think they gonna get it after you? We ain't Jed Clampett. We ain't the Hillbillies. That's theirs. That's theirs. Listen, we still never got our 40 acres and a mule. Come on. You know they're not giving us none of that stuff, man. You know, and it's sad. It's sad. It's just sad. But one thing I will say is that it's good to express it, to let it out, because it can build up. It can become overwhelming. It hurts. It's depressing. And, you know, even in all of this, we have to find some happiness, some light, some laughter, some joy. And where do we find that? In the Most High, in his only begotten Son, Hamashiach Yahushua. You know, because if we really think about the kind of people that we're supposed to be, we should be broken like our ancestors. And all this that we go through, we still never throw in the towel. We still never give up. We still get up every day. We still push forward. Those other nations of people, they throw in the towel. They kill themselves. They take them and the whole family out, but we don't do that. We keep pushing forward because we don't have the spirit of what? We don't give up on the Most High. We don't give up on ourselves. We don't throw in the towel. We've never been the people that throw in the towel. Never. We don't do that. And it's good to share these things, you know, one another, because now I know that I'm not the only one going through this. And sometimes it feels like you're the only one in this world that's going through this. Like, why? Like, why me? Why I gotta, like, why? Like, dang, I can't get ahead. Everything I do, now we know by sharing with one another that you're not the only one. And I'm not the only one, you know. And not that it brings relief, but just to be able to speak and get it out. And for somebody to understand where you coming from. She said something else. Go ahead.
Yeah, she said, you see what happened to Ghana? They tried to get our reparations and they prayed over our ancestors' graves. And the next day, Ghana was flooded.
Ghana was flooded. Flooded. You know, she also said something else right there.
I just read it. I think they're still knee deep in water.
Are they still knee deep in water right now? Man, I'm telling you, man, it's just so much going on in the world, man. There's just so much going on. You know, this is why it's important for us that we remember these things, remember the Kodash days, remember the Most High, remember his Son, and also remember that this is not the end. These people will have us so messed up in the mind, all this stress on us, that you want to go out there and do something wicked. You want to go out there and do something evil just to get ahead. It's the same question as in the Bible, like Ezra had. Why do these people that rob and steal and kill and the enemies, the other nations that don't even love you the Most High, they don't even keep your commandments. They despise you. Like Ezra asked the Most High, or asked the angel at that time in my life, how come they are over us? It seems like they live better lives than we do. It's like, why are we pushed down like this? And we have to understand that we're not part of this earth. So as much as we want to be, or not want to be, as much as we see them living crooked and against the Most High, and we like, dang, how can they just live and prosper like this? That's the way this world is set up, you know. And the Most High see it all. Let's get that real quick in the book of James real quick as we talking about this. James chapter 1. YAHAWAH's Christ, brother. James chapter 1. And although this might not be really pertaining or going to the Sabbath, but it has to do with everything that we're talking about. In James chapter 1, verse 1, it says, James, a servant of the Most High and of the Master, YAHAWAH HaMashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greetings. My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into divers temptation, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. But let patience have her perfect work, that you may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. So he's basically telling us the things that we're going to go through, those trials, those tribulations, those temptations. Count it all joy. This is what we got to do. We got to go through it. There's nothing else that we could do. You know, nothing else. Like she said, the IRS is like the mafia. I think they the biggest mafia. Matter of fact, no, the government is the biggest mafia. They the biggest gangsters that there is. They gangster our money every month and take it from us. Just enough to leave you with so you can go to their grocery stores, so you can go to their gas stations and get the money, the last little bit of money that you have, give it right back to them. And like I say, I'm pretty sure it's some brothers and it's some sisters out there in the world that don't even have enough money to cover to the end of the month till they get paid again. That they don't even have food. And I know our people are very proud and prideful. And instead of asking for help, instead of saying, hey, you know, I haven't eaten in 3 days because I don't have anything and I don't get paid until another 2 days, they would rather just starve. Or as we would say, just not ask for the pride. Can I get a tissue? For the pride. You know, or they will say they fasted. Or ask for gas money that need, you know, to get to work. You know, so don't be so prideful. You know, let it be known. We all going through things. Can you read that one right there, Ma? Salakia.
She said, I think they're still knee deep in water. And then after that, she said, oh, Damona, Israel.
Yeah.
Our people have been living near that nuclear plant for decades. Israel banished them out of the country. Iran just bombed that area.
Did they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
our people been over there for a long time.
Yeah, well, they got booted out of there.
Yeah.
Thanks be to the Most High that our people were kicked out of Israel. What we thought was a punishment turned out to be a bargain.
It did. It did. I know they wanted to stay. They was fighting to stay too. They fought for a long time to stay, matter of fact. But, you know, Israel just didn't. They wouldn't accept us.
Yeah, well, I mean,
you know,
I said he's going to bring you back to where you belong. You can't just go when you want to go.
And then Adriana Khan agree.
Khan agree on it. And then she said they have us in the dang circle and bondage.
Khan. That they do. A big old circle, you know, in bondage. But you understand that because you have the understanding. Go ahead.
Sister Dorothy says, sometimes it's not the pride. It is the fear of being put to shame. People will kick you when you are down.
Khan. And that's wrong. Yeah. And that's wrong. And that's the problem with inside the nation, with inside the brotherhood. That's the problem. We should not kick each other when we down. We should lift each other up, you know. And I'll say this, that's the ignorance of our people. That's the ignorance of our people, us in general, to kick you when you down. We should be able to reach out. You know, I'm only going to share this testimony because it's something we're speaking about. It was some brethren, some Ahchyam that I was with. And we used to get together and have classes and things like that. And one of the ox fell on hard times. He actually lost his job, lost his place, or he was losing his place to live. He was going through some hardship. He didn't ask. But the Ahchyam, we knew what was going on. One of the Ox knew. So we came to all of the Ahchyam to, you know, get a pot together to kind of send something to him to help him. And we did that. Everybody put in the pot. They sent it to the brother. He said the water. He appreciated it. You know, that gave him a little bit of time, whether it was a month or two, to still kind of look for a job, trying to, you know, hold on. The brother said when he got himself together, he wanted to pay all of the Ahchyam back. So some months went by, and the Ak reached out to me, and he said, man, the water for all that you guys did, I appreciate it. I got a job now. I'm back on my feet. I don't saved a little money, and I'm reaching out to you because the money that you sent me, I want to give it back to you. And I had to let that brother know that when I gave that money, I wasn't looking for a return. I wasn't looking to get anything back. What I gave was from the heart, and it was for the Most High, and that was it. And it was for my brother. That's it. And that's how we have to look at it. You shouldn't be looking for a return when you help somebody. You shouldn't be looking for a pat on the back when you help somebody. The Most High know you helped them from your heart, if that's really what you did from the heart, and that's the end of it. You know, so we shouldn't kick each other while we down. We should be there for one another, to lean on one another, to help one another. And if somebody needs help and you're able to help them, because I know everybody's in hardship, but if you're able to help, then help them. And even though you might not be able to give what you want to give, if you have 20 and you're only able to give 10, give 10. Or if you have 20 and you can only give 5, give 5. Give 5. The Most High sees that. He knows that. Let me get this real quick. It's not about the man who got everything. We're going to go to there, Luke, real quick. Chapter 18. Did I miss anything in the chat?
She said that's not ignorance, that's the choice to be hateful.
Oh.
And then she also says, I was asking Bishop Barak to start a benevolence fund so when these things happen, we can have it available to help. And Sister Adriana said, Khan. I said, Khan. Dorothy said, Khan.
That's true. That's something that we should have. You know, that would be good to have. So when things like that happen, like you say, we can go into that pot and help. You know, it's already there. We already been building on it because things happen, you know. So that's a beautiful idea. Very beautiful, you know. And like she said, I hate to say it, you know, this is just how people, it's their choice. That's just how they are, you know. And a lot of people are raised like that, unfortunately, not to help. It's in our culture. It's in our upbringing. Dog eat dog, out for yourself, especially in Judah. Not going to say so much in Issachar and other different tribes, but Judah, man, Judah will knock you down, step over you, and then kick you again, you know. And I don't know what it is. Maybe it was the imprisonment. Maybe it was the slavery. Maybe it's a lot, you know. But the Most High, he looks at us different. All praises be to the Most High that he looks at us different. Let me read this real quick. Luke 18:9. And he spake this parable unto certain which trusted in themselves that they were righteous and despised others. It's a lot of that out here right now. People think that they righteous, that they got their white robe and a crown already, and they got palms in their hand. Verse 10, 2 men went up to the temple to pray. The one, a Pharisee, the other, a publican. Verse 11, the Pharisee stood and prayed thus with him, AHCHwathyam, I thank thee that I am not as other men are, extortioners, unjust, adulterers, or even as this publican. Right? He looking at the public, even as this publican. I fast twice a week. Salakia, I fast twice in the week. I give tithes of all that I possess. Verse 13, and the publican standing afar off, Pharisee proud. He tell him what he do. I keep the Shabbat. I do this. I do that. But the publican, the sinner, he's standing far off. Right? He close to the temple, but not too close. It says, I'm going to highlight it, would not lift up so much as his eyes unto the Shemayim, but smoke upon his breast, saying, Elohayim, be merciful to me, a sinner. The other man is proud and think that he's righteous. The publican man, he's not proud. He has no pride. He says, be merciful unto me, this sinner. Verse 14, I tell you this, man went down to his house unjustified rather than the other. For everyone that exalteth himself shall be abased, and he that humbleth himself shall be exalted. Which tells us what? Just humble yourself. Stop thinking more of yourself than what you are. Like the Ahchwathyam just said, it's not ignorance. That's the choice that we be making. And why? It's because we're not humble enough. We don't have enough love for one another. And let's be honest, we all have work to do, even until the time that he comes and retrieve his soul back, his rakah back. We all have work to do every day. And he continued to tell us that we need to humble ourselves. And then you will be exalted. Because once you humbled yourself, as he says, and get into the kingdom, you will be like as the children, the kids. You don't have all this on your shoulder, this, I'm this and I'm that, and no. It's just a lot, man. It's just a lot. Like she said, I think he forgot. Say, well, once again, like I say, remember the Sabbath? Remind him again so he don't forget. If he forgot, remind him again. Let's start up that thing, huh? Let's put that in play. So if he did forget, just remind him, let him know, hey, or whatever, whatever you call him.
That can come from anyone. It doesn't have to be his.
Yeah. The wife was said it could come from anywhere. It doesn't necessarily have to be his thing,
I think if people are donating, then those donations should be saved for those things. Because that's basically like
that's what it's there for.
Yeah, it's like a savings account. Like people,
if somebody donates to the ministry, that's what it's there for. It shouldn't be for your personal use. It should be for the ministry. It should be for the help. It should be for the congregation or whoever. If somebody needs something, then you go into that. If you're able to go into that, if you have funds, this is why people donate. So if you donate, this is what it's for. So in case a brother or sister come across hardship, they can come to the brotherhood and say, hey, I'm not going to be able to make it this week.
It should be made available that, the people know how much is in there. The people, when a hardship come about, that all the brothers and sisters know that there's a hardship. That's
a big thing right there. That it should be made, that it should be made known how much is in there. It should not be, only he knows.
No.
And he's over the treasury. No.
Right.
Everybody should know what's in the pot.
And who gets help with what.
And who get help with what. That's true. That's true.
People don't have to be like, well, I remember I donated this much, and how come I need help now when there's nothing in it? Well, remember when such and such needed help. Yeah, that'll kill all that. Yeah. That's a good way to do it. Transparent with everything.
As she said, transparent with everything. So that way you put it to the pot You get to the ministry, you know, it could be once a month or every week. You let them know what we have. This is what we have for the ministry or for the brotherhood, however you look at it.
You just donate when you donate.
And then, no, I'm saying the amount that's in the pot.
Yeah.
Like it could be shared every week. Hey, we have $50 in the pot. This is what we have for the week. If we get any more donations on next Shabbat, we'll let you know where we at and we'll show it. You'll have visual. And if somebody come along, just, you know, for an example, just say a brother come along or a sister come along who needs help. And as we speak to the ministry, everybody agrees we're going to help this brother. We're going to help this sister. We taking out $100 or we taking out $200 and we're sending it to brother XYZ or sister XYZ. Everybody knows what was removed, what's still there. You know what I mean? It's not under one person's supervision.
She said, Con, you can start one, and if you do, let me know. And she also said,
hold on, because it's a lot of I missed a lot.
Oh, she said, I asked the most. Oh, she said, Jake and Eve think those who give are stupid and will take advantage of kindness. And then she also
That's sad. That's sad. And no, when you give it to the Most High. You can read that Acts chapter 5. We should have learned enough with Ananias and them and Safari. We should learn enough. Like Peter said, you lied to the Most High. So when you giving, people have to understand you're not giving, even though you give it to the ministry, you give it to the Most High. And when you take out the funds, you doing something for the people of the Most High, you know? So, I
asked the Most High to keep me away from hateful people. I've been traumatized enough and I am healing. I don't need that kind of spirit around me. And she said, Con, you can start one. And if you do, let me know. And she said, Con, there can be a newsletter letting everyone know what's what. And she said, Con.
Would that be something that you interested in doing? Maya?
Yeah.
She said that's something that she interested in doing. So we will start that and we will get everything set up and she will be over that. And you said a newsletter or something going out? Yeah, she said a newsletter letting everyone know what it is. So since we already have it up on there on the channel about the you could donate if you want. I can give you the card. And
card for what?
Well, that way you can have access to it where you know what's in there, and then you can show it in the newsletter because say somebody get $5 or $2 or $20. Like every week, as she was saying, you could send it out, or we could do it on every Shabbat where you could present it where it could be shown.
Every Shabbat will just make an account for what you can make a short and be like, this is what it is. Okay, she said every Shabbat. Well, I'll think of something.
She'll think of something to bring it together to show what the account is, and if something comes up to where,
Sister Dorothy said, Con, I'd like to be a part of something like that. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. She said maybe you can make a website.
Oh, okay.
The website would be better. That way you could just go on there and see. And,
okay. We have to definitely look into the website. Definitely. She also said make a website and all of the information there. So we'll definitely look into that and see about starting a website on that and go from there. The water for that. So as we get ready to wrap it up, let's get a few more before we get out of here. Let me go to Mark 3 real quick. Mark chapter 3. Talking about YAHAWAH in the synagogue. Mark chapter 3, verse 1. And he entered again into the synagogue. And there was a man there which had a withered hand. And they watched him, whether he would heal him on the Shabbat day, that they might accuse him. And he said unto the man which had the withered hand, stand forth. And he said unto him, or Salakia, them, Is it lawful to do good on the Sabbath days, or to do evil, to save a life, or to kill? But they held their peace. They knew, evil little man. Verse 5. And when he had looked round about on them with anger, being grieved for the hardness of their hearts, he saith unto the man, stretch forth thy hand. And he stretched out his hand. And he restored the whole as the other. And the Pharisees went forth straightway and took counsel with the Herodians against him, how they might destroy him. Because he did good on the Sabbath day. Because he healed a man on the Sabbath day. So is it okay to do good on the Sabbath? Of course. Of course. It's not okay to do evil, but it's okay to do good on the Sabbath. And that's what he was doing. He was healing a man, bringing and making him what? Whole. Bringing him, making him become whole again. That's what he was doing. I'm going to share this one thing and then, well, two more things, and then we're going to wrap it up. Let me go here. Ecclesiastes chapter 1. And we all know this is Solomon. Solomon was the preacher, right? So anytime you talk about preacher, you're talking about Solomon, right? He was a king of who? Israel, in Jerusalem. It says in verse 13, and I gave my heart to seek and search out by wisdom concerning all things that are done under the Shemayim. This sword travel have Ahchyam given the sons of man to be exercised therewith, right? This is why we got to work day to day. This is why all of the stuff that we go through, as we just talked about in this whole class, the IRS, this tax, that tax, everything that we go through, this is how the Most High set it all up for us. One, because we disobeyed. Two, because we still disobeying. And three, because man fell from the Most High. Verse 14, I have seen all the works that are done under the sun, and behold, all is vanity and vexation of the Rakah, meaning it's worthless, it's nothing. Vanity. 15, that which is crooked cannot be made straight, and that which is wanting cannot be numbered. 16, I commune with my own heart, saying, lo, I am come to a great estate, and have gotten more wisdom than all they that have been before me in Jerusalem. Yeah, in my heart had great experience of wisdom and knowledge. 17, and I gave my heart to know wisdom and to know madness and folly. I perceive that this is also vexation of Rakah, or the spirit. Here it is right here. The reason why Aqua of Dorothy, Aqua of Adriana, me, Brother YAHAWAH, and all the other people that's watching this or may watch this at a later time, the reason why you can say those things, all that you said today, and we have this understanding, and it's just a hot mess. Verse 18, for in much wisdom is much grief, and he that increaseth in knowledge increaseth in sorrow. The reason why we have these feelings and we're not like the rest of the world is because you have increased in wisdom and in knowledge. And the more you learn, the more sad, the more sorrow is going to be brought upon you. You would think the more wisdom and the more knowledge that you learn, you will feel more free. You will feel more like it's off of your shoulders. But actually, the more that you learn, the more that this world that we live in pushes and weighs you down, and it become even sadder. Sorrow. So much so that you don't even want to be here. And this is why all of the prophets in the Bible was like, man, I don't even want to be here. Jeremiah asked, Isaiah, all the disciples, even YAHAWAH. They like, man, this is the pits. It's just all messed up here. All messed up. So just know the knowledge that you get, the wisdom that you increase in, is going to bring a lot of sorrow in your life. It's going to bring that. Because now you're aware. Now you're not blind anymore. You're not living as these other people in the world, just all hunky-dory and the picket fence, and they want the American dream, and you know they went to college and they got their degree and they got their home and their car. And not about that. The true wisdom and the true knowledge, you're gonna be sad. Like, what kind of life is this? Let's close out with the book of Sirach. Let's close out with the book of Sirach. Did I miss anything, or do I need to go back?
She said time went by fast, and I said it did. Felt like we were all in the same room conversing, and then she said, Con, sis, I wish you guys were here. She said, you should move to Myrtle Beach. I said it would be nice to be around.
But we definitely can visit out there. I was gonna say we definitely can visit. I've never been to Myrtle Beach. I've never been to South Carolina.
I said it would be nice to be around an Ahchwathyam in real time. And Sister Adriana said, Con, that's 100% true. It's bigger bitterness when you know reality.
But all praises to the Most High that He revealed this to us, you know, and then we have an understanding that this is not the end. This is not really life, you know, that we have something much greater, much better, much perfect coming at a later time, you know, and we just have to count it all joy, like James said, and go through this right now. We just have to, you know, this is the hardship that it speaks about in the Bible, you know. That choose life. Let's go here real quick as we wrap up. Book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 24.
Are you sharing or no?
It should be. If
I don't know because...
Let me see. Mine's just. Let me see. I'll do it again. Yeah, it should be sharing now. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, or better known as the book of Sirach, chapter 24, and I'm going to start at verse 32.
What? Ecclesiasticus what?
24, verse 32. Let me know when you're there. You there? Yeah? Okay. Calm. And it reads, I will yet make a doctrine to shine as the morning, and I will send forth her light afar off. What doctrine? And you have to understand, remember earlier I showed on one left side the commandments, biblical commandments, on the right side the commandments of Catholicism or the Catholic Church. So what doctrine, who are you listening to? Are you paying attention to? Are you listening to the words of the Most High, the biblical gospel doctrine that was given to us? Or are you listening to what man? You know, verse 33, I will yet pour out doctrine as prophecy and leave it to all ages forever. Remember this right here, verse 34. Behold, that I have not labored for myself only, but for all them that seek wisdom. So we do this for all those who what? Seek wisdom. For everybody. I didn't labor for myself. I don't get up every Shabbat to do this for myself. I don't get up all the other days throughout the week. I don't get up to read for myself. I don't get up to study for myself. But it's for everybody else who seeks what? Wisdom. This is why it says study to show yourself what? Approved. People have questions. You can have an answer through the Rakah of the Most High and His only begotten Son, Hamashiach Yahushua, Christ the Anointed One. But you have to study. And just know you're not doing it for yourself. It's not for you. It's not about you. Especially once you know who you are. Like we said earlier, priests. The women, princesses. Y'all prophesy too. So we have to understand who we are, what type of people we are, what type of nation we are. You know? I had showed it earlier when we went to Peter. Man. I want to show something. Let me see if I can pull it up. I want to show something one of the elders, right? And he said something. One of the elders from way back. I know a lot of people may not know. Me personally, I go all the way back, you know, to read the book, Nasi Barak. These are elders that were preaching the gospel that we have, that we're preaching. They were preaching this back in the 1900s, in the 20s, in the 30s, in the 40s, in the 50s, and the 60s. And he said something very powerful that always stay with me. So I'm going to share this with you as we get ready to close out. And this is one of our elders from way back in the day that did the work, was on the highways and byways. And for those who know, you know. Let me share my screen real quick. Let me get it prepared. Let me get it prepared, and I'm going to share my screen. Here we go. Let me see. Let me just go to where I want to. I'm not going to, you guys don't have to watch the whole thing. But I do want to share from about, let me see.
At Shema anymore. It wasn't like no two of us. Or I get back on my knees, or he.
Okay, here it is. I'm sharing it already. This is one of the elders from years ago, right? Like I say, he did a lot. He taught the Torah. But anyway, just listen to what he says as we close out for the day. And all of the Ahchyam out there, all of the Ahchwathyam out there, listen to what he says. This is one of our elders. He has passed on now. He has moved on with the Most High. But his name is Chief, as you can see, Naphtali. He's an elder and he's been preaching the truth for a long time, all the way since like the 50s. And for those who know him, all praises. For those who don't, just listen very closely, please. I'm going to share this. Here we go.
I can feel I'm shut. Right. You know? So that is still an abbreviated expression of my journey and my career in Israel. But the most important thing is I found out that I have the calling, and that men, when they reach the level that we're on now, and I'm talking to you as an individual, a chief man,
if I can, I just want to stop and say, everybody that's right here now and you're watching this, anybody that's watching this on the chat right now, this is for you. When you reach the level that you are on right now, this is who he's talking to. He's talking to you. You are the audience. Listen closely, please, for those who have an ear to hear. Please hear.
We reach this level that we're on now, we understand that no two of us have an identical calling to God. No two of us. We each have an individual calling to this great God. And that's why we can't look at the next person and say, no, that's wrong. No. Back up off of that and let them express what he has placed in them to express.
Right.
And when we can use that understanding with the Holy Scriptures, especially that psalm that everybody quotes, oh, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity, yahad. You know, the psalmist is talking about people who don't necessarily like each other, who don't see things the same way, but if they coalesce and bring the force of the intention of this great God that was given to each one of the individuals, then he'll pour the anointing oil on the group. The anointing of the eternal will come on the group to sacrifice their individual, I know best, for the greater good, because my force and your force is presenting to this earth what his desire is.
Right.
And also, we were never meant to finish the work. He's the finisher.
That's right.
You see? So don't press yourself. We got to get this, and we got to do that, and we not doing it. Calm down. All Joshua had to do was show up. All he had to do was cross Jordan.
Right.
I'm going to back it up for you. Cross Jordan. One last word. It said more of the enemy died by the missiles that came down out of heaven than by the sword. All he had to do was bring the force there. All we got to do is bring the best Chivuziel there. Where is the there? Where he has moved you to be in any given moment or instant in history. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. One last thing. When it's all being said and done, you know, and we all take the path that all men should take, how do you want to be remembered? If you could describe that.
I would, now that I have gained more understanding than I had before, I want to be remembered as one who did not assume to be great at all, but was there to make others to be as great as they can. A young teacher who was my professor at community college years ago, her name was Professor Bay. I think she was from Calcutta or something. She was beautiful and she was smart. And I had taken a couple of courses and, easy things that I could get by because the government was paying me to be there.
Right.
And hers was, like Psychology 101 or something like that. And she would walk up and down and she said, I'm going to tell you what the best teachers are. The best teacher does not put into you what he or she has. The best teacher reaches inside you and brings out the best that you are. And so I want to be remembered as a teacher who was able to show people who I had an influence with how to find the best that they could be and utilize it in this earth. Like, well, Chief Naftali isn't here anymore, but he made me see how to be the best servant of the God who gave me life that I could be. That's going all the way back to Chief Counsel said, you got to be a teacher. So I do not want to be one who ever thought he was great, but one who wanted to bring the best out of people that they could possibly be.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Amen.
Amen.
Hold on. And God bless you for helping me through this.
Hallelujah. All praises to the Most High. Right? All praises to the Most High. That he was able to share that before he passed and let us know that it's not about us as an individual, it's about the brotherhood. And if we put our individualism to the side and come together as a brotherhood with the brothers and the sisters, then the Most High YAHAWAH will pour that anointing oil on that brotherhood. If we could put our pride that I know best to the side. That's why this channel is called Yashra'Allah Yakad. One, unity. So that was one of our, like I say, elders from way back in the days. Like I say, he has passed on, but all praises to the Most High that young man, one of the Ahchyam, was able to interview him and put it on video before he passed on. And he was able to share some things. And as you can see, as you continue to get older, as he said, in my younger days, I didn't think this way. I didn't think this. But as we get older, we grow in knowledge and in wisdom. And the greatest thing he said, before I let you guys go, is to bring out of people what the Most High has put in them. Stop trying to be great for ourselves and exalt ourselves. He says, humble yourself and he shall exalt you. So if you humble yourself, the Most High will exalt you. And you do the same for your brethren. You do the same for the sisters. Reach into them. Pull out the good that's in them. I ain't always know good. I ain't always know I was doing wrong. I ain't always know I was an evil person. But I was shown these things. But before I could be shown these things, I had to be shown what was good. That there was good in the earth. We always put the shield up. People call it the wall because we don't want to be hurt no more. We had our feelings hurt. We got emotional. We've been hurt in so many different ways. So we put this wall up, this brick wall that we don't allow people to get through. We don't allow people to hurt us. It's a shield. But take that wall down, take that shield down. It's okay to be hurt. It's okay to be spat on. It's okay to be mocked. It's okay to be laughed at. You know why? Because they did that to our brother. They did that to our king. You can't change who you are for other people. Stay who you are. And for those that are evil, keep working on yourself. No matter what nobody say. They might not see no good in you. They might not think you no good in you. There's no good in you. But all praises be to the Most High that he don't see what they see. He sees something else. So hopefully this message was edifying for you. You know, this is why we do it. Like I said, it's not for me. It's for the others. Jason Moore, he says 100. And hopefully, you know, for those that really listen, as we close out once again, take the time, rewind it, and listen to what the elder in the Hebrew, the Zaquan, what he was saying. Like I said, he's one that don't passed on. And, you know, for me in the beginning, when I first came into the truth, I was one of those. Oh, I know best. And this, that, if it's not this, it's not. But it's not about that. It's about the brotherhood. Because the only one who truly knows is the Most High. And he wants us to humble ourselves, sacrifice our pride, being proud about the knowledge and wisdom that he has given us, and put that to the side for your brother or for your sister to help them, build them up, make them greater than what you are. Who cares if they're greater than you were and then greater than you are? You want them to be greater. You want to push them. A comment was said earlier in the chat. It's not ignorance, it's the choice. So let's make that choice to love one another, show care for one another, and just be better people in all. We all have work to do. I know I do. Hopefully you enjoyed this beautiful Shabbat class. As we go through the chat, he seemed like a nice and humble man. Khan. Once again, he wasn't always that way because he gave his life story and he told us about all of his ins and outs and things that he did, things that people wouldn't even really share. But he said it's important that people know. You know, it's important that people know his pitfalls, his snares, his traps, his ups, his downs. Of course, this was towards the end of his life before the Most High came and took his spirit, or the Rakah. But all those things that he went through, it humbled him. Adriana says, the water for sharing with us. I didn't know him. He was mighty. Khan. And Maya Napasha, she says, I don't want to mispronounce that. Go ahead.
Ayana Bar, he likes the really old school ox from back in the days. They were more humble and straightforward.
Yeah, that's who I tend to watch. If I watch somebody, I really tend to watch a lot of the ancients. You know, like I say, read the book, Nasi Barak, just to name a few. You know, those are the ones that was out there in like the 1900s. 1905, 1910, 1920, 1950, 1960, and even some in the 1800s. You know, if I can find information on them, those are the ones that I tend to watch and I tend to go back to, because it wasn't watered down like it is now. They spoke truth and they didn't care who knew it. And it wasn't about saving face for this camp or those camp, because it wasn't no camps. It may have been one. Maybe two. You know, it wasn't camps, it was school. It was schools. They had actual schools that you went to where they taught you the Torah. They taught you how to speak Hebrew. They were fluent in Hebrew. You know, things of that nature. But anyway, the water for that. The Aqua of Dorothy. Can you read that, please?
Yeah. This was a beautiful class. I thank the Most High for you. I hope everyone has a Barak week. Be productive and bear much fruit. I love you, Yasharala. Calm, Yasharala.
The water for that.
Sister Adriana said, calm, very beautiful, edifying class.
Calm. And you want to read yours?
The water to everyone who tuned in. Once again, a sharp Pasak, and may everyone have a Shalom, YAHAWAH, YAHAWAH.
All praises be to the Most High. Once again, everybody out there that have celebrated and that is celebrating or is going to celebrate their Passover, their Feast of Unleavened Bread, may you enjoy it. Give all praises to the Most High. Enjoy this feast days. Enjoy this time as we praise the Most High, getting ourselves clean, getting all that leaven out, and leaving those things behind, as this is the beginning of a new year. It's the beginning of a new year. I know in this world they say January 1st, but no, in the Bible, this is the beginning of the new year right here, right now, right? So the water for everybody joining us, tuning in. And if you feel it was edifying, please share it with someone. Please share it. How will the people know without a preacher, right? Romans 10 and 14. Is there anything that want to be read, or anybody that wants something to be read before we close out? Anybody here? No? You know, then I'll leave with this then. John chapter 17 real quick. I'm not going to read all of it, just a few verses. John chapter 17. Did I put this in right? And I'll start at verse 1. These words spake Yahawashi, lifted up his eyes unto the Shemayim, and said, Father, the hour has come. Glorify thy Son, that thy Son also might glorify thee, as thou hast given him power over all flesh, that he should give eternal life to as many as thou hast given him. Verse 3, and this is life eternal, that they may know thee, the only true Allah, and YAHAWAH HaMashiach, whom thou hast sent. I have glorified thee on the earth, and I have finished the work which thou hast given or gavest me to do. And now, O Abba, glorify thou me with thy own self, with the glory which I had with thee before the world was. All praises be to the Most High as we close out. Once again, Shabbat Shalawam, Kwam Yasharallah. And since this week is a lot, like I say, Passover, Feast of Unleavened Bread, please, tomorrow is the first day of the week. Please join us tomorrow, 12, same time. Tomorrow, we do a class on honor thy father and thy mother, right? Join us tomorrow, 12 o'clock. We'll do another class, honor thy father and thy mother. With that being said, we'll see you tomorrow, 12 o'clock, and Kwam Yasharallah and Shalawam. Khan. She said 3 p.m. Eastern time. So for those that are on the East Coast, it would be 3 p.m. your time, East Coast. And for the West Coast, 12 p.m. Khan. Kwam Yasharallah.